Hello and welcome to News Morning here on Newday on TV3. My name is Beatrice Edu. Coming up in the next few minutes. NADMO steps up emergency measures as water levels rise in Burkina Faso's Bagri Dam. Also on the program this morning, Minority Caucus demands parliamentary inquiry into gold board's operations. Meanwhile, two petitioners seek investigations. Into alleged extortion against minority leader Alexander Apenyomarking. And much later on the program, Upper West and Upper East regions record significant movement of transhuman herders and their livestock, according to data from the International Organization for Migration. My name is Beatrice Edu. Once again, thank you very much for joining us on the program this morning. Now, after weeks of close monitoring, authorities have confirmed that the Bagri Dam is expected to commence spillage within the coming days. Now, while earlier concerns regarding August 11 release did not materialize, the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, has now ramped up emergency response protocols, urging residents along the White Volta to finalize their safety preparations as the dam approaches its critical capacity. While farmers across the White Volta in the northeast region initially hoped for a temporary delay when the anticipated spillage did not occur as scheduled, the latest data from dam officials confirms that water levels have continued to rise steadily, with spill now expected to happen at any point this week. Meanwhile, Northeast Regional Minister Ibrahim Tia Said said the military and NADMO authorities are in place to evacuate affected residents to safer grounds.
Certainly, we have done enough preparations on the ground to sensitize all people who are living around the White Volta, and we got enough time because the Burkina Bay authorities were looking at a level that the water will reach before they will now spill. And fortunately, for almost 2 weeks now, the water hasn't reached that level, but they are now getting very close. And we are also suspecting that in the course of the week, they are likely to open it because the water is gradually getting to the level that it will get to before they will now spill the water. All the relevant stakeholders, the military, NADMO, and then the citizens around the White Volta and both districts, Yaraba Kubori, East Mamprusi, and the West Mamprusi, they've all worked together to sensitize the people living around to move out of that area, I think about 10 days ago. So the place is very safe for the water to be spilled without any incident. You know how hospitable we, the Northerners, are. When the need even arises, people are even prepared to live by their brothers who are in the higher lands and silver lands. And then they will also find ways of getting accommodation for shelter for those who will be stranded.
We stay up north, and the Upper West and Upper East regions have recorded significant transhuman movement, herders and also their livestock, according to data from the transhumans tracking tool implemented by the International Organization for Migration and CLIP Ghana. The initiative is helping authorities to monitor livestock movement, manage farmer-herder conflicts, and improve cross-border transhumans management. A report by Upper East Regional Correspondent Tanko Mohammed Rabiu.
In the Upper West region, a total of 3,694 transhuman herders were recorded, traveling with approximately 72,745 animals across monitored corridors. In the Upper East region, the monitoring system recorded 545 transhuman herders traveling with approximately 24,650 animals. At a stakeholders meeting to disseminate the final results, the Monitoring and Evaluation Officer of Changing Lives in Innovative Partnerships, Dr. Alhassan Issa Suhini, said The project became necessary due to negative effect it has on the sub-region.
This project started in May 2025 and is ending this August 2026. So the project had four main objectives. The first one was to map out Transhumance main entry and then exit points in the upper east and upper west region of Ghana. The fourth objective was to ensure that agro-pastoral natural resources are managed and planned by the communities that host transhumance so that there will be social cohesion, that is peaceful coexistence between farmers and herders within the area.
Cyril Lamte is a representative from the IOM.
This data that we've collected so far is used by the government agencies at the regional and the district levels to be able to manage the issues that happen with farmer-herder conflicts and also manage the movement of transhumans within the communities that are being affected by transhumance movements as well.
The Fulani chief in Paga, Adama Musa, expressed satisfaction about the findings.
Kamam gona ya bata sanu ni ya bata gonan na mutane sai su gwada me shi wanda ya bata gonan na.
Now, the controversy surrounding the Ghana Gold Board is widening, with fresh demands for investigations both into the reported losses under the domestic gold purchase program and allegations now being made against the minority leader Alexander Apenyo-Marking. At the center of the dispute is an IMF reported loss of more than $1.7 billion, about 22 billion Ghana cedis, under the Bank of Ghana's gold purchase program in 2025.
The Gold Board controversy is deepening, with growing demand for investigations into both the reported losses under Ghana's gold purchase program and allegations involving minority leader Alexander Apenyo-Marking. The dispute began after an IMF report put losses associated with the scaling up of the Bank of Ghana's domestic gold purchase program in 2025 at more than $1.7 billion. The minority has demanded answers on how the losses arose, including the role of foreign exchange differentials, discounts to gold off-takers, and fees associated with the transactions. Gold Board Chief Executive Sammy Gyamfi, however, rejects suggestions that the figure represents a loss made by Gold Board. He says the losses relate to the Bank of Ghana program, while Gold Board's audited 2025 accounts recorded an operational surplus of about 907 million cedis and an overall surplus exceeding 5.4 billion cedis. But the disagreement has since moved beyond numbers. Sammy Gyamfi described Apenyo-Marking as an extortionist, an allegation the minority leader rejects. Apenyo-Marking says he will pursue legal remedies, but insists the minority will continue demanding a parliamentary inquiry into the gold transactions. The minority caucus has backed him, calling for Gold Board to appear before Parliament to reconcile its audited accounts with the losses identified by the IMF. Now, a separate petition has added another dimension to the controversy. Political activist Solomon Owusu and lawyer Andrew Appiah-Dankwa have petitioned the Attorney General, Special Prosecutor, SHRAJ, Police CID and the Speaker of Parliament over allegations that Apenyo-Marking personally or through intermediaries attempted to obtain $1 million from Sammy Gyamfi in exchange for stopping adverse publicity or political pressure. The petitioners acknowledge they do not presently possess the alleged communications or recordings and want investigators to obtain the evidence and determine whether the allegation is true.
The allegation is that a personality in the person of Apenyo-Marking, who happens to be the minority leader, is using the very office to not serve the interests of the people of the country, but to benefit himself by extorting monies from public officials. And for us, it's a very worrisome development. But as responsible Ghanaians, the matter cannot be allowed to die natural death as we've been seeing. We want a conclusive investigation into this matter. The claim of extortion came from Sammy Gyamfi himself. Apenyo may also have documents that suggest that he has not done so. So that at the end of the day, we are clear in their minds as to whether or not there was an extortion or otherwise.
For now, the Gold Board controversy presents two accountability questions. What explains the reported $1.7 billion loss? And what is the truth behind the extortion allegation now at the center of the political dispute?
Some more here, and former Works and Housing Minister Kojo Nkrumah says the Mahama administration's continued use of private sector participation in the Sagleme housing project vindicates the PPP module introduced under the previous government. His comment followed President Mahama's inspection of the project, with developers targeting 700 completed homes by March 2027.
According to the Ofuase Ayurebi Member of Parliament, Kojo Nkrumah, the PPP arrangement faced strong political opposition when it was introduced, with accusations of government selling off the Saglame project. He maintains the decision was necessary to attract private capital to complete the stalled development. The original project, financed with about $200 million, was expected to deliver 5,000 homes, but only 1,506 units were partially completed. Government later estimated that about $100 million more was needed to complete the houses and supporting infrastructure.
Well, this is testament to the fact that the PSP model works, and we need to mainstream it instead of always trying to wait for taxpayers' money or sovereign debt before we do these projects. There are still a lot of projects that we actually even tried to resolve, but time wasn't on our side. It is important for this private sector approach to continue. I think that this thing where, when an opponent is doing something, even if it is good, you deliberately smear it with allegations that are unfounded. This is a clear lesson that must be learned from it, because in the end you will be stuck with it, and you will now have to find a way to justify all the things that you said earlier, and I think it's totally unhelpful. If a model is rolled out, if a project is rolled out and it's good for Ghana, it's good for Ghana. Let's continue with it, and let's give credit where credit is due.
Nkrumah insists the private sector process was transparent and designed to protect the state's investment. He called for a transparent allocation system and affordable mortgages to ensure ordinary Ghanaians can buy the completed homes.
One of the major considerations was how to ensure that at the end of the day, the project is still affordable for the average person who wants to buy. And in the pricing mechanism that government and the private sector operator agree on at the end, that is one of the main pillars that they have to ensure is upheld. So there needs to be a transparent sales model for it, where people can actually go put in a bid and have an opportunity to purchase by mortgage any of these properties. My understanding from what the president said is that that is what they intend to continue, and I heard him saying that when the portal is open, those who are interested should go on and apply. It shouldn't just be in word, but in deed as well. That is what should happen.
The former minister insists the use of PPPs will address Ghana's housing and infrastructure deficit while reducing lengthy approval processes that can delay projects.
A lot more attention needs to be paid to the question of how to speed up the processes, but we have to build internal capacity within the public service to speed PPP projects up, like we were able to do with this one. And if we're able to do that, we can deliver a lot more infrastructure, a lot more public goods and services without having to burden the taxpayer.
Developers are targeting 700 completed homes by March 2027 and about 1,500 by the end of the year.
Some more here, and the governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Esiama, says the emergence of the 24-hour economy presents a unique opportunity for Ghana to roll everyone on board. He says the success will not be determined solely by natural resources or financial capacity, but it will increasingly depend on human capacity, creativity, digital skills, and entrepreneurial mindset. He was speaking at the 33rd Graduate Students Association of Ghana Summit held in Accra.
Ghana's 24-hour economy is a national strategic policy that aims to transform Ghana from an import-dependent nation into a round-the-clock production and export hub, targeting over 1.7 to 2 million new jobs through maximized asset utilization and multi-shift operations. This subject featured prominently at the summit, which brought together academic professors, entrepreneurs, and graduate students. Governor of the Bank of Ghana, whose speech was read on his behalf by Bernard Atto Otabil, the Director of Communications, called for strategic shift in thinking to one of innovation and skills acquisition.
As we move towards a more dynamic and competitive economy, the question is no longer whether we have knowledge, but rather whether we can turn that knowledge into innovation, productive enterprises, and sustainable economic growth opportunities. Graduate schools are now being encouraged to move beyond the role of simply transmitting knowledge. They must become platforms for creating knowledge, fostering innovation, and supporting entrepreneurship. Research findings should be accessible and utilized rather than confined to library shelves. Innovations should be translated in technologies, products, services, and solutions that meet societal needs and create wealth, ultimately.
Vice Chancellor of the University of Ghana, Professor Nanaba Apia Amfo, said the university is strengthening entrepreneurial innovations and capabilities.
We are deliberately seeking to strengthen the environment within which research and graduate education take place, promoting interdisciplinary research, strengthening research support, encouraging collaboration with industry, governments, and communities, expanding opportunities for innovation and entrepreneurship, and creating spaces in which ideas can move from conception to application.
GRASAC President Sadiq Abubakari said the summit was timely.
Currently, we all know that AI has come to stay. Now, businesses are now trying our best to automate their businesses to also remove more of employing graduate students. So, graduate students, what are we doing to curb these issues? That's why the Graduate Council come together to have this team by creating knowledge and then entrepreneurial skills in this 24-hour economy.
The summit was held under the theme Beyond Graduate School, Curating Knowledge, Innovation and Entrepreneurial Skills in the 24-hour economy.
And that's all for News Morning here on New Day on TV3. My name is Beatrice Edu. Thank you very much for joining us on the program. Do continue with us on New Day.
This is the old way. Let me show you a new and a better way. EduPal.
EduPal?
Yes, EduPal. A GS-approved and supported initiative for all first-year students
Beautiful. And created a semblance that there was visa going to be, visa acquisition.
I wonder if those people got their visas.
I'm sure maybe they already had. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I thought he was praying onto the passport or on the passport so they can now go and apply.
No,
or it was supposed to be instant.
No, I think he champed the passport and said that there was visa in the passport.
So where did the passport come from? This guy's, or it was in the person's bag and then they champed it out of the bag.
He confessed with the angels as well.
Yeah.
Just like, Archbishop Duncan will also said he was in
he said he spent, 72
heaven,
hours?
1 hour something.
1 hour.
So Ubinim before Archbishop, Ubinim had been there and all that.
Yeah.
Was
I
with
think
Adam
I saw another one.
He also said he had been.
Was with Adam and Eve and all those.
Who was with Adam and Eve? Ubinim?
Ubinim, yeah.
Oh, he saw them?
Joseph.
Oh, nice.
All this about Caleb.
What did they look like? Did he ever say?
No, he didn't describe them. And then he had angels as well.
Yeah.
That's where the angel Itefer came in. Because he said he has 2 angels that protect him, right?
Yeah. And he was able to speak to them in church in real time.
I remember.
And that's the most wonderful thing when you go to church. That's able to do.
I know, right?
It looks like you had a good day at church yesterday.
Yes, Winners Chapel, Tema, Community 12. It's always good when you have men of God who are able to speak to angels. Because when it comes to traditional oracles as well, you are able to talk to the spirits and they are able to tell you things. And it's the same, I believe, level of spirituality that we have our men of God, of Christianity, able to do. They're able to speak to angels in real time, just like our oracles and soothsayers, as well as the traditional priests would do. And I think that's a good thing as well.
I think so. As long as you are a real, whether it's man of God, traditionalist, whichever one, I mean, because we've been told to also be wary of false prophets, right?
Yes.
So don't just assume that just because the person says he's a man of God,
you
then
test
he's
the
actually of God. You also have to discern.
Test the spirit.
And that's why you need to pray as well, so that you know.
Know it for
whether
yourself.
Yes, know for yourself.
Yes.
Not every day income share.
Yeah.
You also have to be able to get the income share yourself.
Because the thing is that when they are even
spirit.
sharing the income and it is conflicting,
Oh, sometimes, because you want to believe so badly, you put common sense aside and believe in it. But I mean, good morning to all our men of God as well who are doing a good job. And this morning we say thank you.
And those not doing good job.
Those ones, I'm not sure. But it looks like there was some conversation between the Homo celebration ladies. This morning.
And one thing I enjoyed about the Homo particularly was the way we had the various Ga communities able to market. And, our owner, when she finishes jogging to the Ebri Mountains, then she descends to the gym. Then she'll go to the Kpashimo.
Yes, exactly.
And then tell us about.
And then after that, she wakes up and comes to work.
I
don't know how she does it.
I think on Friday, somebody called Uncle Charles Thompson, lives in the UK. And he's also Gan Fanti as well. And so I asked him, now apart from coming from UK, has now developed an interest in, because these days we don't have local Gan-speaking people in schools, etc. So it's a good thing to have a public person try to spearhead that as well.
No, we actually do have a lot of local Gan-speaking people in schools. Oh, yeah, we do.
Right.
We do.
It depends
Quite
on
a
the
lot.
schools. I don't know. This is a
I saw her carrying a camera and everything. I mean, I'm sure you're working on a documentary for Homo as well. Did you go Kpashimo as well?
It hasn't happened yet.
Oh, it hasn't?
No,
Okay,
it
I thought it was
hasn't
this
happened
weekend.
yet. Even
So
though
I
it
was looking forward
happens
to it.
every Tuesday at dawn. So Kpashimo happens every Tuesday starting 1 a.m. all the way to about 10, 11 a.m. the next day. Some people start at 10 p.m. on Monday nights and go all the way to 10 a.m. the next day. So that's, is it 24 hours or 12 hours? 12 hours.
Yeah.
12 hours.
Yes, 12
Which one are you asking us?
From 10 p.m. to 10 a.m.
Oh, yes.
Okay. That's 12 hours.
Yes.
So there's one group called One Pillar that does 12 hours. But the rest of the groups start around 1 a.m. and they end around 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. But the main Kpashimo days are the 30th of August and the 5th of September.
Are those weekends? Because I remember I used to go for a Saturday one.
Yes, it's a Saturday one.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a Saturday one.
So that's
so it's Saturday and then the next Saturday And so the 5th of September one is the main final one, the one where they do the Sese, the Chese Bumo. Yes. And then when that happens, then Homowo everywhere in the country has ended. So Teshi ends it.
Oh, Teshi finally.
Teshi ends it, yes. And so once we celebrate, nobody else can do anything regarding Homowo anywhere.
But when do they chew the sugar cane? Because I remember that as well. Does it precede the Homowo celebration? So that's been done already.
So far we've done the Inshonawa Jinjamo, Abelekun, Beminla, the Pepe Shamo is tomorrow.
Okay.
And
will you be there? The Pepe Shamo. Will you be there?
I hope to be there. But what is nice, I'll tell you. What is very nice though is Wednesday. So Wednesday is Ngawasho. That's when all Ghana people from everywhere who have left the community, all Teshi people everywhere who have left the community come home. It's like a homecoming.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Come back.
Yeah.
Come back to your community.
So we'll see you all tomorrow. Tomorrow is when you're doing.
Tomorrow is the Pepe Shamo, but Wednesday is the homecoming.
Okay. Which one is Pepe? So we'll be going to East Pepe tomorrow.
Which one is Pepe Shamo?
Yes, what's
Pepe Shamo. See, this question you've asked there, it requires a whole. So Pepe Shamo, to answer Beatrice, is the sprinkling of Pepe.
Oh.
So you know the history of Homowo, right? It is to hoot at hunger.
Yeah.
It's to mark a time when...
you know you're just nodding.
I learned it in school as part of...
No, we all did. That's a different thing.
We should make it a date then.
Yeah.
That would be bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we basically spring the pepe in the streets and in the main houses to signify a time when we overcame hunger. So it's hooting at hunger. So we spread the food to show that we have overcome hunger and we have so much in abundance that we can afford to sprinkle. And also when we sprinkle, we invite domestic animals to eat. We invite our forefathers to eat with us, because when the famine came, during the period of famine, our domestic animals were also affected. They also died from hunger.
Obviously.
Some of our forefathers also died from hunger. So we sprinkle to invite them to partake in the celebration. So that's tomorrow. So you're invited to come.
Yeah.
The official color is yellow.
I enjoyed all the videos. Now posted over the weekend.
Yeah.
Some of them with the crowd, others you were doing it yourself. I was just monitoring.
Look, it's a vibe. Let me just tell you, if you have time between now and 5th September, just go to Teshi, just during the day, during lunchtime. There's always something happening. You just go and spend 1 hour over there.
Wow.
Don't go to the Cosmopolitan.
Okay.
Don't go to the Chiblo Greater Estate side. Go to the Mami side, the Teshi Mami. That's where all the action is.
Behind Aduena.
Aduem. Yeah.
Anyway, let's come back home.
Yeah, so as people were talking about the Homo, we had some good people who said they also wanted to take part.
Okay.
So Dr. Juliet Yaya Tenge works with the Ghana Military Academy. She's with the academy there.
Okay.
And you know they're around Teshi. She says she also lives Teshi Nungwa Estates. So she's always witnessed and has witnessed that since she was growing up. So she would also love to join us as well. So I think
we should make it a date.
And then Lydia Nyaba is also saying Ghana National Association of Tea. It's been a while. She said that she also wants to join.
She should come along.
And then Sheikh Abubakar Ali Nepar as well.
Yeah.
So
nice.
It looks like we have a whole convoy.
We should do like a
I don't know whether Shadrach can do some magic. We'll go and do some small.
It'll be nice for the day.
Yeah, it'll be nice. It'll be nice.
But you know that Emil says he's expecting you to provide some play for him because
you have to come, please. If you want cake play, come to Teshi tomorrow. That's when we start cooking at 5 a.m.
Fantastic.
And so by 8 a.m. it's ready.
Yeah.
It's a very difficult meal to cook. It takes a long time to cook if you don't want to get diarrhea. So we cook it well.
Yes.
And so we start at dawn.
Yeah.
And by 8 a.m. it's ready.
Yeah.
And so if you want to eat fresh peple, come to Teshi tomorrow. However, leftover peple, I think, tastes nicer than when it's fresh. So if you can't come tomorrow, you can wait and come on Wednesday. We'll still have some.
It's a matter of taste buds, right? Some others love it fresh.
Yes. Well,
I've eaten it fresh, and that's what I love compared to
the overnight one.
Wow. Have you had overnight fufu?
I tried it. It was too
the Eastern way.
Fluffy.
Yeah.
So I didn't like it.
How do you warm it or you pound it again?
I like fufu elastic.
No.
So when it is not elastic.
Yeah, when you're in Ghana, you can talk about that. But if you live abroad, but sorry, we're trying to bring Ghana Month here because from this festival, we have a lot of festivals also ongoing. In the Volta region, we're going to have there's Asogli that has been launched, and then there's Hogbechocho as well.
When does that usually happen?
So we have the Asogli festival already launched. That's Teza. Okay. So it's already been launched, as well as other communities within the northern part of the Volta region who have launched. And then Hogbechocho.
So Hogbechocho happens after Asogli?
Yes, it
so
happens.
I'll be at Asogli next 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for the Women's Day.
I'll be there.
You'll be there?
Yes,
oh, that's amazing.
Are you walking? Because right now, I don't know.
No, I'll be driving, Bella.
You're not hiking to the Volta region?
No.
Because after your last hike, which was how many hours?
Which one?
The longest one that you did to Oduma.
Obosumase. Yes, that was 6 hours.
Yeah.
That was 6
hours.
So
over the weekend, I walked with some friends, and the guys were like, your colleague Nash Okoye, she inspires us. I mean, she's a woman, but she inspires us to do a lot more in terms of workout as men.
I think we should just go outside a bit. We are always in our cars and in our homes and at work.
I agree.
We don't go outside enough.
I agree.
And then we complain about all these lifestyle-related illnesses.
Yeah, that's true.
So
I agree.
It's always proud to be a Ghanaian.
As long as we don't deal with the reptiles, because that's my fear. Like, I don't know what I'll do if I see a snake right in front of me, and I see you guys cutting the branches. And I'm like, what if some snake just falls on me? What happens?
Well, we've encountered a few snakes, but
oh wow,
I used to be afraid of snakes. I couldn't even watch a video of a snake.
Yeah.
Like if I saw a snake on social media, I'll block you. But I think I've just assimilated. Now, if I see a snake, I just step back and allow it to go. And then I'll continue on my way.
I told you we even have environmentalists. If you follow, National Geographic.
Snakes are scary when they enter your house.
Our lead ambassador for Newday, National Geographic's restoring the vegetative cover of the Republic of Ghana.
Oh God!
From southern Ghana, starting from Accra, the Republic of Ghana, the distinguished, intelligent, beautiful climbing mountains and then caves.
I know.
Descending caves.
Swimming in some streams and ponds and stuff. What haven't you done?
Right.
At this point.
Yeah.
So one of the people who always enjoys our shows is Alexander Penyo-Markin. That's the minority leader.
He's watching this morning?
He watches.
I was just watching him this morning.
Just allow somebody to say something bad about him, and
he only responds when it's bad. At least when we say good morning, he should be able to.
And then even good things as well.
I was watching him this morning on the probe.
Yeah.
And he was explaining the difficulties of the minority side with the gold board and matters arising. So good morning to you, sir.
And then Sami Jemfi also watches as well. So it's a good thing that we're discussing them this morning as well. So we'll have some, and then the president also has given a reprieve to Adamus Mining. So we'll discuss that. Yeah. And following the Supreme Court making that decision to dismiss that suit by Kujopon Kroma concerning whether the Chief Justice has the powers based on what the decisions he made or the warrants that he issued for legal vacations for some courts to be in place. We'll have to discuss that. So we're going to have some great
one of the people who has filed a suit in the courts is coming on the show today, Lawyer Danko Appiah, and he wants
he's traveled, so he'll be joining us.
He's not in town.
Yeah, so he'll join us virtually.
I'm looking forward to Solo as well on Wednesday. I really want to understand what
I think Solo is out of town, but I think
out of town.
Yeah, they'll join us virtually. So so they've petitioned, right?
They have petitioned
for investigations to be undertaken. They want the Attorney General to do that. The Criminal Investigations Department, OSP, the Speaker of Parliament.
They want OSP as well.
Speaker of Parliament.
So all look into those allegations.
So Charlie is a litany of.
I'm looking forward to how that will go. I saw someone say that it's going to be a long, interesting year, and I can guarantee that. So
has the petition been published?
The petition?
Yeah, has the petition itself been published?
Yes, it's been published. It's been made public. So I think today they will do formal submissions.
Yes, I know that Parliament will also be sitting on this matter. Apparently, they're going to be hearing this particular issue regarding.
I don't think that's formal. If they will.
Well, I mean, if an allegation of this magnitude has been made against the minority leader in parliament, then of course it is of concern to them. So they should look into it and see how they can resolve this matter.
I mean, it just sounds interesting how this gold board issue is just developing many tentacles, and a lot of people really showing interest in
the Boost Bass. Bass Boats and Boost Bass.
Speaking of Bass Boats, I mean, if you live along the Wager Dam or in any of the low-lying areas as well, you should also be alerted this morning that there's going to be a spillage. I mean, this is something that happens annually when the heavy rains come in. So mid-August usually is when the Bagri Dam spillage usually occurs. And in fact, just about a week ago, NADMO also issued an alert to people who live in the flood-prone communities and low-lying areas and along the White Volta River to also move to higher ground and move away because Burkina Faso's Bagri Dam will be spilled because it's overflowing its banks. And if that doesn't happen, it's also going to destroy the dam. So as it stands now, we're told to expect a spillage along those areas. If you live in that community, an alert has been issued. It's always quite a difficulty because if I live there and I don't have anywhere else to move, that means that every year I need to have an alternative, place to locate to. And if I don't have that, what happens? But most importantly, that alert has been issued. So if you live in that area, please make sure to move. If you can go and perch with a neighbor for a while, because it usually takes about 72 hours, we're told, or sometimes even longer for the water to find, its area and flow into those other areas that it's supposed to. So make sure that you're safe where you are. But we'll have an extensive conversation about this on the This Morning segment so we can understand further what to expect, how much water is likely to be spilled, etc. And so just an alert to you this morning. In fact, the director, the regional NADMO director, Mrs. Rebecca Hasmatu Akoglu, she says that it could cause the Volta River to overflow, potentially resulting in flooding in downstream communities. And so the organization is working closely with the Regional Coordinating Council, district and municipal assemblies, health authorities, and traditional leaders to minimize the casualties and protect lives and property. And most importantly about the farmers as well, because their produce will also be affected. So they're trying as much as possible to protect that as well. And they said we want to ensure that farmers and other community folk in the region do not encounter any eventuality in the wake of the spillage. And so our main priority is to save lives, livelihoods, and property.
And I think this morning we had the information that a number of regional ministers whose areas will be affected have also started collaborating with NADMO. I think we heard from, was it the Upper East Regional Minister, already helping the people within those areas to move up to higher ground. So it looks like they are doing a lot to ensure that properties and lives are saved, even as they spill the Bagri Dam.
The question is, do we ever harvest this water? Well, let's get into our This Morning segment now.
Done enough preparations on the ground to sensitize all people who are living around the White Volta, and we've got enough time because the Burkina Bay authorities were looking at a level that the water will reach before they will now spill. And fortunately, for almost 2 weeks now, the water hasn't reached that level, but they are now getting very close. And we are also suspecting that in the course of the week, they are likely to open it because the water is gradually getting to the level that it will get to before they will now spill the water. All the relevant stakeholders, the military, NADMO, and then the citizens around the White Volta and both districts, Yaraba Kubori, East Mamprusi, and the West Mamprusi, they've all worked together to sensitize the people living around to move out of that area, I think about 10 days ago. So the place is very safe for the water to be spilled without any incident. You know how hospitable we, the Northerners, are. When the need even arises, people are even prepared to live by their brothers who are in the higher lands and safer lands, and then they will also find ways of getting accommodation for shelter for those who will be stranded.
and it's time for us to get into the issue. We're talking about the Bagri Dam spillage. We've been informed by the authorities of Burkina Faso that the controlled spillage of the Bagri Dam is set to happen. Now, we heard about this somewhere earlier this month. I think it was first formally reported on the 11th of August, and NADMO authorities and other authorities have been advising that persons who live along the White Volta should relocate to higher ground, and all flood-prone areas should relocate to higher ground to minimize the damage of the controlled spillage, which will happen. Now, farmlands are affected, homes are affected, livelihoods are affected. This is a conversation that we have year after year after year. And even environmental scientists are now calling for Ghana to seek some sort of compensation from Burkina Faso, among other things. But this morning, we want to get into it and really understand how this spillage affects people who live in that area. So if you live along the White Volta, we'd like to hear from you this morning when we activate the phone lines. And also, we're going to put up our WhatsApp number, and you can join in the conversation. You can also let us know what your thoughts are about the fact that we always have this problem. We have asked for some engineering solutions to be preferred so that the water which is spilled is received in a dam of sorts, so it can be used for irrigation and other things later on, as we are at a time when we're complaining about climate change and its effect on agriculture and, our crop production, among other things. So this is a big conversation that we need to have. But first, Beatrice, we're going to be talking to our reporter who's on the ground.
Indeed. And let's speak to him now. He joins us via video call. Good morning to you. Okay, just right here. I think you're muted, and so we can't really hear you.
No, maybe that's for your time.
All right. So obviously, the Bagri Dam, the information we had earlier was that it was supposed to be spilled on the 11th, and now the information we're getting is we should be getting ready any moment from now that it will be spilled. I know you've also done your monitorings within the communities. Tell us how preparations are like within those areas so that this time around we save life and property.
All right, so with regards to preparations, especially the farmers and some of the community members who are living along the White Volta, this is something that has been happening every year. And so the community members themselves, they have learned and understand how, when the water is being spilled, where it gets to and how it affects them. And so most of them have already moved to the higher lands. So apart from when this one goes beyond what we have been experiencing every year, I can say that where the community members are settled are far away from the riverside. And then the only thing we are looking at is the farmland. And also there are some communities that are settled somewhere far away. So, the routes within the Northeast region here is a challenge. It's a challenge. And also, most of the communities do not have health centers, chief compounds. So they rely on, when you go to areas like Pasimpe, most of the surrounding communities do not have chief compounds. They rely on the Pasimpe polyclinic. And so when this happens, accessing health becomes a challenge, especially when pregnant women and those that are vulnerable. And so currently, with the health side, I really didn't actually meet the health sector and to understand the measures they are putting in place to save lives when this happens. But with the NADMO authorities, they are on the ground and have increased the number of flying boats, said that when we experience some of these emergency cases, they can easily move the people to a safety ground.
Solomon, we'll go to NADMO and your regional minister who talked about collaborating with NADMO officials to ensure that life and properties are saved. But ahead of the spillage today, you remember we had information earlier that it was going to be on the 11th, and some farmers had already started harvesting. Others were praying that there will be some time. Within that period, how would you say the farmers have been able to, save a little bit more before the spillage today or this week?
All right, so Okay, so with the farmers, they hope that the spill off never comes because per the time they used to sow their crops until now, in fact, their crops are not yet matured to be harvested. And I visited most of the areas with the farmers, went to the farm, and also have access to the nature of the crops. And you can see that the crops truly are not matured. And so most of the farmers, when they go to the farm, though they try to see if, mostly it's a cereal, the maize is, let me say that it's been cultivated here more than other crops. And so when you go to the farm, though they try to see if some are okay to be harvested, but then when you look at it, majority of the crops are not. And I can tell you that most of the farmers did not harvest just because the crops are not matured. And so though few were able to get something, but I can say that maybe 20% of what they have harvested from the farm.
And speaking of NADMO and the Regional Coordinating Council, I know you've been having interactions as well. Tell us the information they've given you as regards how many people they've managed to get out and how many more should be able to get out of the danger zone before the spilling of the Bagri Dam.
Okay, so per my interaction with the NADMO Northeast Regional Director, what he told me was their major concerns are those staying places that they cannot access health centers, and also those that they just do not have proper routes to go to other areas. When it comes to life, for people who are staying at areas that the water always comes to destroy, they have moved there, not currently, but previously, NADMO sensitization exercise has also educated the people not to wait till the water comes. So as it stands now, NADMO officials, though, haven't evacuated any group of people as it stands now, but then they are only monitoring, by what he told me, to see if the water level will go beyond what they have been experiencing. So they wouldn't have to wait till when it gets there before they evacuate people, but they are monitoring it and know when and how it comes, the way it will affect the people.
Thank you so much, Solomon, for joining us this morning. And Solomon Kwame Kanawule, he is our Northeast Regional Correspondent. Bella, I know that the NADMO Regional Director is equally joining us to have a conversation on this.
Absolutely, and he joins us via Zoom, I believe. Oh, okay, Zoom, right? Okay, so good morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
All right. I hope you're well.
By His grace, we are doing well.
Okay. So we do understand that, unfortunately, the Bagri Dam spillage is going to happen anyway. Can you give us specific timelines? When exactly this week should people who live within those low-lying communities expect this spillage, and how soon should they move or vacate their homes?
Yes. The Sonabel authorities in Burkina Faso have given us an indication. As at yesterday, we get daily update as to the increment of water in the dam from Sonabel. And when I say Sonabel, they are the operators of Bagri and then Kupelga Dam, both in Burkina Faso. So they give us daily updates, and the maximum level that would warrant spillage would stand at 234.75 cubic meters of water in the dam. And so when the water level gets to that point, they would spill the dam. And the latest information from them is that the water level as at yesterday is 234.43. And so we are not yet at 234.75.
Okay.
But hopefully they are giving us an indication that should this continue, they would start the pillage this week. But as to the day and time, we are yet to get there because they are going to give us those details.
And so with the information above, we have strengthened our sensitization mechanism. We have strengthened our stakeholder engagement with the community members. And then our national headquarters rescue team, which we usually call the Thunderbolt team, they are also in the region here, well prepared to take up the challenge. Fortunately, this year, the Ghana Armed Forces, they've also released their 51 Engineer Regiment to come and also augment our effort in the region.
Okay.
And so we are only waiting when Sonabel will give us the time and date as to the spillage, and we'll take it from there.
Does it mean that it doesn't have to get to the 23.75 before they start spilling? They could actually start even before it gets to that level. Is that what you're saying?
No, please, until it gets to the 234.75.
They will not
spill. If it
spill.
doesn't get there, they will not spill.
Okay.
And so the latest figures is that the latest figure stands at 234.43.
So we're almost there.
We still have some. We are almost there.
When did you start alerting, the people who live in these areas that may be affected so they can start moving? And what was the response?
In fact, we started the first letter Ghana Water Resources Commission gave us was somewhere on the 4th. The letter was written on the 4th, indicating that by 11th, if all other things being equal, they will spill the dam. Unfortunately, or let me say, fortunately on our part, the water didn't rise as we all expected, and so it delayed the spillage. So right from there, we were already on the ground, sensitizing the people, getting to the farmers and exchanging information with them as to how they can also help us make this year's spillage a disaster-free spillage.
I see. And so you've spoken to them, but most importantly, what has been their response? Have they started moving? Are there people who are also complaining because they might not have other options available to them?
Yeah, I think the most important thing we have to note is that farmers in the region, usually the Bagre spillage affects the farmland and not the locations of the farmers. And so this year, the most unfortunate and worrying thing confronting farmers is that 99% of the crops are not ready for harvest. And so the issue is, if Bagre decide to spill this morning, we have 42 to 73 hours for the water to get to Ghana. It's going to affect farmland.
Are you there?
And this year, the farmers would not be able to pick. The farmers will not be able to pick anything from the farm. And that has been their worry and that has been their pain. Last year, when the issue of Bagre came, farmers had something to pick on the farm. And so they were quick to take whatever was ready on the farm. But this year, the story is different. And that is the pain we are all going through. Yesterday, I had a conversation.
Tell you right there. Yeah, okay.
Bonacado, it's a local NGO in Bolga. In fact, our communication centered on the fact that what are we going to do to make sure that at least these farmers would always have something to harvest before the set-in of the Bagre Dam. And so we are looking at beyond the spillage. We're going to engage more of the stakeholders and farmers to see the best that we can do so that we will all be free with this yearly or annual affair of Bagre spillage and farmers running helter-skelter trying to pick whatever is ready on the farm.
All right, but Tahiru, this issue is perennial. It's been happening for over a decade, 2 decades now. We know every year this is going to happen. I mean, I do understand when you say you're going to engage the farmers a lot more so you can see what to do moving forward. But we've had all these years to plan because we know that there will be a spillage, come what may, as long as the rains come. So over the years, what have we been able to do to stem this in the tide? or to at least provide some support for these individuals?
Okay, Bella, if I get your name right, it
Yes.
is true that this thing happens almost every year. And we are also behind the scene working out something to help the situation. You remember there's this conversation surrounding Palgu multipurpose dam. I really don't want us to concentrate so much on that or in that regard because politicians will take over the conversation and then we'll get missing. At our level, what we are doing, Ministry of Agri, NADMU, Ghana Health Service, in fact, the relevant stakeholders, we were thinking of engaging farmers to use what we call the improved seed. In other words, some of us call that seed flood escape seed, where farmers will have lesser days to get their crops ready. But another challenge with that particular seed is that most of these farmers are not very comfortable with the improved seed, in the sense that the traditional practice is that if I sow or I have my farm harvested, I should be able to get seeds from my farm produce prepared to sow next year. But this flood escape seeds is not like that. As soon as you sow and then you take whatever is on the farm, next year when you are going back to the farm to sow, you need to buy these seeds again. And that is where the farmers have a problem with. And so it is something that has come up as a new challenge that we are going to look at together with the farmers so that as and when we get better and better solution to this problem, farmers will continue to use it. We cannot stop the farmers from farming along the riverbank. The reasons are clear. When you farm up land, what you do is you need to apply chemical fertilizer. But if you find yourself farming along the riverbank, it will save you the stress of adding chemical fertilizer to your farm before harvest.
Tahiru, sorry to cut in. We need to wrap up this conversation, but very quickly, I just want you to tell us, is there a plan to harvest the water? And then for people who may not have other places to move to or relocate, is NADMO providing some safe spaces for them in the meantime while, the dam is filled?
Yes. Oh, as for the safe havens are prepared, they are ready even as at this morning. But what I need to put across is it does not, as I said, it doesn't affect locations or households. It only affects farmland. So ours is that farmers should be advised not to go into their farms. They should stay at home. And then we would carry on with our mandate.
But are you harvesting the water? Is there a plan to harvest the water that would be spilled?
Yes, that's to the highest level of stakeholder engagement that is being considered. But at our level, we are looking at what we can also do to make the whole situation comfortable before that happens. So there is a conversation in that regard going on. As I said, the farmlands, cutting roads where roads are not more trouble and that kind of thing. That is usually our problem. And so we have the speed boats are ready. Ghana Armed Forces they have come with 3. NADMO has 3. And so we are talking about 6 boats ready to carry on this particular exercise.
All right. Thank you so much, Tahiru, for speaking to us. And that's Tahiru Rafiu. He's the Northeast Regional Director for NADMO. But now we also have a farmer on the line.
Yes, we have a farmer who's joining us on phone. And as we have just been told by Tahiru, the spillage of the Bagri Dam affects first farmers in their farmlands and not very likely homes. And so hopefully we can get a better perspective into how farmers are affected. Good morning, sir. Hello?
Yeah, morning. How are you?
Very well, thank you. And thank you so much for joining us this morning on TV3.
Okay.
Can you first tell us the nature of farming that you do? What do you farm?
We farm along the White Volta. That is where, when they open the spillage, the water passes through to the Volta River.
Mr. Joseph, what do you plant? What do you grow?
We sow maize, only maize. That we sow there. We can't sow any crop apart from maize.
Okay. And for how many years have you been farming along the White Volta?
I can't best tell, but I'm now almost 62. When my late father, the Sabiam Barijesra, the traditional chief of Pasinka, traditional area, they were already farming there when they gave birth to us. So I can absolutely say it's about almost 80 years.
Wow.
When people have started farming along the White Volta.
Okay. That means that you have definitely experienced the flooding that is associated with the opening of the Bagri Dam and the spillage that follows.
Yeah, we have a little experience in a way that when we are earlier on informed, but when we are not informed about this spillage, that is almost dangerous for us.
Okay.
So as that now, they were talking of opening it on the 11th, but said the water was not up to the level that they could open.
Yeah.
But just yesterday, we received a message from your media telling us that the spillage will come this week. So we are getting prepared. NADMO have not yet come to say anything to us. It was only on the 10th that NADMO came.
Can you tell us what is the nature of your preparation? When you say you're preparing for the spillage, what exactly do you do?
What we normally do is to inform farmers and children and fishermen to be very careful about the spillage, because you don't know the level or the speed that the water will take. So this is what we do. And farmers normally goes into their farms to take out their farm little inputs, something like their cutlasses, their knapsacks, and their cooking pots, if they have farm rooms in their farms. So they normally pick them and come up out of the water.
And for how long does it take? For how long are you required to stay away from your farmlands?
Through observation of the water. Now they are saying that they may open this week. So no one will go to the riverside farms again until it comes and subsides. When it's subsiding, I think the fishermen give us information that the water is subsiding. And this is how we monitor the water. So you can stay off the water depending on the length the water will take.
Okay. Now, does this flooding cause destruction to your farmlands?
Yes, it causes. Because you can't harvest, and it destroys people's lives and animals, and then transportation is also difficult. I could say Passenger at some point will be like an island. You can't move out of Passenger unless you take a route that even a vehicle cannot pass. So it's always difficult. These are the effects that we get. And then workers who move along the main road from Passenger to Kunkwa or Yama or even to Wulugu, even if you have patients, it's always difficult for them to access the polyclinic.
How damaging is the effect of the flooding? When it is over, are you required to restart? I don't know what the farming expression is, but are you able to just continue farming? Or how damaging is the effect? And what are you required to do to continue your farming?
Yeah, when the flood is over, I think it destroys our farm inputs, and we cannot take anything, farm crops rather, we cannot take anything again from the farms. So what we do is that we prepare to sow beans. And this is what we normally sow within Passenger. Others come in to sow onions and other nuts. But with that, you also need a pumping machine. But where can you get this pumping machine to always pump? So you go in a little faster to follow the water, so whereby the land will not get dry, so that you sow these beans, and by ending up, let me say, January, you can start harvesting your beans. I think this is what we do after the flood have subsided.
From your perspective, From your perspective as someone who has suffered the effects of this flooding for so many years, you say you've been farming there for over 80 years. What are some of the real solutions that can be provided for farmers along the White Volta when the spillage occurs?
Yeah, one, we need life jackets and boats. Two, we'll need pumping machines. Three, we'll need improved variety of maize whereby we can sow and harvest early before the flooding comes. And I could also say 5, maybe getting the exact information from the right sources about the spillage.
Do you think this flooding can be prevented at all?
Yeah, it can be prevented. We heard of the multipurpose dams that they were going to construct. Yeah, if there is done, I think it will minimize the spillage on our farms. And then the other thing is, our suggestion is, if the Burkinabes can be spilling off the water small, that would be far better off than waiting for it to get to the peak, whereby they will open and it will come and destroy our farmlands. I think this is the other option we think would be very good for us.
Okay. Presently, what are some of the solutions that NADMO offers to you when the spillage occurs?
They always come and announce to us or meet us at the parish and give advices as to the dangers of the flood. And maybe they can bring a boat as a standby. But no one can operate the boat. And you know the dangers of water. It's just some seconds. If something happens, no one can come from Walwale. Even just 30 minutes or 20 minutes, you can use the boat to go and maybe rescue that person. So we need them to train some people within the community to go that they can have access to operating of the boats and maybe having almost some good number of life jackets that can help us. Yeah.
Okay. Now, we were just speaking to a representative from NADMO who said that when the spillage occurs, it affects farmlands but doesn't really affect homes. Is this correct from your experience?
Affects farmlands and it doesn't affect what?
Homes. It doesn't come to your house, your houses.
Oh, but in fact, we have a number of houses that were destroyed by flooding. And now they have even moved out of that area, not only in Pasintia, but other communities. The flooding destroy homes. But what do? They don't do anything. We don't have any aid that will help. I think your correspondent was here. We show him where some flooding came last, and you can even get those old buildings that are still standing. That it came and collapsed the house. Even fishermen that were along the river bank, they also have to move into the community because they can't stay there again. It's dangerous. And no one comes in. It was only some years back, and normally when they come with tents, tarpaulins, mats, rubber buckets, mosquito oil, mosquito nets, and that cooking oil and some fuel rice. That will not even satisfy you. It always brings enmity among the people. Yeah. But if you are sharing something and it cannot benefit or it will not be enough for all of you, they think otherwise. Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about the flooding that's supposed to happen this month. What has NADMO offered to you in terms of support ahead of the flood?
No, as I was speaking earlier, they've not come to support us with anything. They just came on the 10th and briefed us. That is the municipal NADMO office. They came and briefed us as to what they are going to do the spillage. I'm hearing from the chief rep or the regent rep that some NADMO people are coming from Tamale to meet the community. So I wouldn't know what they are bringing until they are here. But as of now, nothing has been done. Even a boat, we are not having a boat as of now. And when the floods come, people cannot move along the main road. Workers like teachers, nurses, agric officers, and even sick people, they cannot go through. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Joseph Sebiam, for speaking to us. Joseph Sebiam is a farmer. He farms maize along the White Volta. He's also a community elder, and he's telling us about the difficulties that the spillage and subsequent flooding poses to them as farmers and members of the community. I hope you're able to relocate, as has been advised by NADMO, to higher grounds before the spillage occurs. Beaches, we have some messages coming.
Indeed, a number of people sending us messages on what we've been talking about since morning or early day. And this one says, good day, TV3. Let's pray this Bagri Dam spillage doesn't cause much, I guess he means negative impact to our people in the northern sector. I just want to draw your attention to an issue that is currently happening at NADMO. He said, according to my check, the newly recruited NADMO officers having been paid for the past 16 months. And so that's his concern there. And this one says, good morning, TV3. I'm Ziblim Ishmael from Tamale. The damning revelation of extortion made by, okay, so he's talking about the gold board bit. Aziz Dollar says the Bagri Dam spillage should rather give government a clue to create a reliable dam to contain the water for agricultural purposes. And then, good morning, TV3 panels. I want to use this opportunity to thank you for the good work you have been doing for Mother Ghana. May the good Lord richly bless you and protect you. Please let the authorities know that the Bagri Dam spilled water can be collected and used for dry season farming to improve agriculture, especially in the northern part of Ghana. And that is from Elijah Sandema. This one from Eben says, good morning, I'm Eben from Kwabenya. Please, Mr. President, I think it's high time the government took advantage of this spillage of Bagri Dam than destroying properties and farms. Do something, my president, for this spillage. Oh. And then he greets the chief of staff. And perhaps the last one I'll read here says, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I believe it's time the Bagri Dam spillage negative effect was looked into thoroughly and rather turned it into positive effect. Investment is needed for agriculture purposes, and that's coming from Michael Intiri Nwase Wenchi, Bono region. So a number of you sending in your messages. Thank you for your messages.
Thank you for your messages, and we hope you keep them coming because the big issue starts in the next few minutes. But before that, let me remind you to perk up your day the Milky Way with the rich, smooth taste of Perk Milk Shortcake. It is absolutely delightful. And speaking of which, so this morning, we're also cashing out as well. How much are we giving this morning? 500 cedis to 3 people. That's good news. I mean, starting your week with 500 Ghana cedis is a big deal. And we want you to do something very simple. And so just pick up your phones right now and dial *439#. Follow the prompts and pick your favorite platform. And so TV3 is on platform number 2. You're watching us now, so don't pick any other platform. Otherwise, we won't be happy with you. So remember, *439#, select option 2, follow the prompts, and you could be walking away with 500 Ghana cedis. 3 of you this morning will be sharing 1,500 Ghana cedis. And so that means you get 500, he gets 500, she gets 500. Everybody gets 500 Ghana cedis. So make sure to play. Don't play once. Play as many times as possible so you can win. And on that note, well, Papa Ro is on standby with the big issues right after this.
alongside other advocates, they also needed to be given some hearing. And it looks like the president has listened to the directors, shareholders of Adamos Resources. And so we'll be discussing that quickly as possible as we can. But let me just introduce to you our guests for the morning. And right here in the studio, I have just in front of me. It's been a while I've seen him, and he's here. Jamaluddin, how are you? Jamaluddin Abdallah is a member of the MPP's communication team. Good morning to you. How are you?
Good morning to yourself, your team, and your cherished viewers.
Okay. And next to him is Director Legal for the NDC, but also Chief Executive for the National Petroleum Authority. Good morning to you, Lawyer Digitama.
Good morning, Roland. Good morning to my brother Jamal and my concomba brother.
Yeah, Emmanuel Kuting.
Uja, you know, Nkwanta and Saboba.
Oh, okay.
Like neighbors. Once you move from Damanko,
yes,
you're almost.
I know those terrains very well.
Yeah. So,
and Emmanuel Kuting is the Executive Director for the Africa Center for Security and Counter-Terrorism. And Emmanuel Kuting is a man I know so well. Dating over a number of decades now. So it's good that he's also playing key roles in national development as well. But the man who made the petition alongside his colleague Solomon Owusu, Lawyer Apia Dankwa, he's out of the jurisdiction, but make time to join us as well. So let me just quickly do the introduction. Lawyer Apia Dankwa, good morning to you.
Roland, good morning to your viewers.
Okay.
Good morning to my brother Kutin, my learned friend and brother Eduji, and to my MPP brother. Good morning to all of you.
Okay. So I see that most of the time, because you are in the studio, you don't do the stream. So since you are joining us on the stream, we're happy. Please make sure that you go back a little, frame yourself, Lawyer Pia Dankwa. Frame yourself.
Is it better now?
Let me see. Please switch him and let me see. But bend the camera a bit. But be mindful of things behind you, so that things don't show.
I'm very minded.
Oh, I wasn't impugning anything negative.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
Don't worry.
I'm a very innocent soul.
In this era of, you have to
so I just wanted you to make sure you bend the camera very well. And for those who... Okay. So that we can see, at least, we want to see your chest, like the way it's always on TV. For those who have joined us, I see PHK has joined us as well. Prince Nania York is watching us from the UK. Great guy, if you know him. New Digger Tukwekwe. That's the Amasama man. I'm told the road is not good. So my report has done you good. And the president continuing the work. Joe Mansi. And, okay. And then Ni Odoeyemo as well. FOES to us. So please make sure you share the stream. And Money and the rest of your Brimpong Kaba. But there's a matter I want us to deal with quickly. Since you're a lawyer as well, just 3 minutes on this. The petition that was dismissed, what do you think that the court was right in dismissing that in the first place? And how would you posit that, knowing that you and Apia Dankwa, you are practitioners, and the concerns that have been raised in that petition in the first place? Just 3 minutes on this.
Yes, Roland, once again, good morning to your cherished viewers. Before I proceed with my 3 minutes, the First Lady, Madame Lordina Mahama, had been doing extremely well in providing critical health intervention for some underserved communities in the country. She's been building some health infrastructure by her foundation, the Lordina Foundation.
Okay.
And Roland, I think that it's important that the public begins to appreciate the thing that she's doing quietly to help promote health, particularly neonatal health, which is in very remote communities, very critical intervention. So far, I think they've built some facilities in Atebubu, Bole, Nkranza, Hohoi, Enyima, and the rest. And I think that it is one of the things that we need to begin to highlight. Matters involving health, I always say that after God, the next thing you have is health. Without it, there's nothing. But Roland, that said, you see, you've brought a very critical issue, which had to do, Roland, with the Supreme Court suit that my learned brother, the Honorable Kwejo Opon Nkrumah, brought. And if you look at the reliefs that he was actually seeking from the court, it's basically a decision by the apex court of the land about the powers of the Chief Justice, as it were, to have judges sit during the legal vacation. I mean, for want of this thing, the whole concept of legal vacation had to come about because the Gold Coast colonies had courts. We transitioned from the native courts to courts being run by quote-unquote European judges. And so there came a time that they needed to go back to Europe as a way of recess. And at that time, because there was no much of aeroplane, they were going through steamer. The ship.
Okay.
And so they needed what became known as the legal vacation. It was actually vacation for judges. But in contemporary times, what we have seen is that, yes, the workload on judges is not a joke. As we speak, there are about almost 600 cases at the Supreme Court or so. At the Court of Appeal, about 1,000 plus cases at the Court of Appeal. As for the High Court, you can't even count it. And so the health of these judges is equally important. So over the period, the question of legal vacation had become institutionalized. Look, in my few years' practice at the courts of this country, we go for legal vacation. But let nobody make the point that judges sitting to do substantive criminal cases during vacation is untoward, is unlawful, is unconstitutional. You remember the famous Quality Grace case?
Yes, yeah.
You remember?
Yeah.
The judge that presided over that case,
Ibrahim
Adams and co. My Lord Justice Dixon Kwame Afre, may he so rest in peace. Justice Afre did handle the Quality Grace matter during the vacation. He sat during term and sat during the legal vacation. Witnesses were taken during the legal vacation until such time that judgment was delivered. This was like 2001, 2002, thereabout. So having a Chief Justice say, justices should sit during the vacation to hear criminal matters, it is not unknown to our practice. I find it extremely challenging when I hear colleague lawyers make the point that the Chief Justice does not have the power to do that. No, the Court Act itself provides expressly that the Chief Justice may designate some courts to sit. Now, if you read the reasoning of His Lordship Justice Puaman sitting as a sole judge on the injunction application, he made the point that as lawyers, we are independent service providers in the sense that we don't run 9 to say 5 kind of job. When people need your service, they come for you. You go, you deliver, you go. That's the work that we do as lawyers. And I strongly believe that, too. The other thing, too, is that when criminal charges are preferred against you, the other thing is that you, the accused, should be in a hurry to have the matter adjudicated expeditiously. Because you see, when criminal charges are on you, it's like the sword of Damocles. You may think you have your freedom, but you are not free. You don't have
so it. You can work at
Look,
any time.
see,
and you should work at any time.
See, having represented some very key persons in this country within 2017 to 2024, look, even to travel, you need to go to a judge. I represented MPs in very high-profile cases, and anytime they needed to travel, I had to go to the judge. And so, even your own liberty, your freedom, there's no privacy with you again. Because if you are traveling and you need to go to a judge, and by the time you are done, you file a motion, the motion will be, filed at the registry, it will go to the judge, it will be heard in open court. Everything about your life is in the public. And so there should be that agency to also take those charges off you. And so I would plead that in all of this conversation, let allow decorum, decency, as it were, to lead the conversation as far as I'm concerned. And let me also say this, and I will conclude on this. I have heard a very senior lawyer say, some of the cases the oral cases that are happening is like ambulance cases. And like I was asking myself, senior, where have you been? Look, I was counsel in the NCA matter. I represented the then Director General, the Bafoboni and Co. Yeah. I represented the then Director General, then the National Security, Deputy National Security Coordinator at that time. I represented him. And I remember, we were going to court Tuesdays and Thursdays. When we go 10 a.m., we close at 2 p.m. 4 hours, 8 hours every day, every week, continuously until the case concluded in May 2020. And many of the cases, look, Sagleme, when we're doing Sagleme matter, there is a presiding judge or then a Court of Appeal judge. You go do his cases at the Court of Appeal and come to us at 1. And when he comes at 1, we'll close at 4 p.m. Continuous. I don't think at that matter, at that time, those were ambulance cases. So respectfully, it's in the interest of all of us that such matters are handled with expedition. And I don't think that we should read improper motives into some of these things.
All right.
I yield.
Kuti, just 3 minutes for you on the subject.
Even counsel, for that legal gymnastics, Chairman Untumi's application, bill application could have been heard. And you agree with me that the lawyers didn't come on the said day because of the principle they had set.
That is not fact.
And Chairman Untumi was left in the dangle. And we must also look at it this way. One of the MPP lawyers, Frank Davis, he had cause to question why Chairman Untumi's bill application was moved to September when it could be heard in August. So you see the double standard. So what I have to say is this. The judiciary is the only institution left standing now. We have succeeded in demonizing and politicizing all our institutions of conscience that hold our democracy. And you know, lawyers, you have a principle you call the CCP, your obligation to the client, to the court, and to the public. And all of this thing must be played out in all honesty. You see, rights are inherent to any human being in a democracy. Yep. But the truth of the matter is that that right must be exercised responsibly. You see, you give me, and I always mention this, you appoint me the Chief Justice. Obviously, it is a chair only one person can sit. You have given me some discretionary powers to exercise. So if I exercise same and it doesn't favor you, how do you impugn bias? So like counsel said, I think that we need to let good health prevail and see how we sanitize the area and build our democracy.
This one was just one of the issues we can make commentary on. Can we? You want to comment on? Can we move on to the petition?
No, we have to. If everybody is getting 3 minutes,
that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, of
just
course.
3 minutes for you.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Once again, a good morning to my colleagues here and to your cherished viewers. You see, nobody is arguing that there are instances, cases cannot be heard during the vacation. Vacation has been the practice within our legal council since time immemorial. Our brother Eduzi was even giving us the historic background of legal vacation. Well, since it has been part of our legal process, there are certain measures that are taken if cases are supposed to continue during the vacation. One, I believe that legal representatives cannot be compelled at a point in time to go beyond their means to provide services during certain tenures, in as much as cases can be heard at any point in time, but parties within the cases must agree. If I am a lawyer representing somebody and I know that definitely within a year there will be legal vacations, and make provisions for holidays during that time, or enter into certain agreements outside the services I'm providing for my representative, there's the need for the judge to sit and ask our availability during the vacation, because you cannot compel people. So if consensus have not been reached and other parties are indicating their unavailability during legal vacation, I don't see why judges should make certain pronouncements which ought seeks to deny accused persons of their rights. Legal vacation, whatever be the case, would happen. And there are certain cases that are heard during legal vacation, certain motions that are brought and heard during legal vacations. And in some instances, those motions are not heard by judges who are sitting on the cases. My brother here, Eduzi, would agree to that fact, that a judge can be on a case, and during legal vacation, if there is a motion, a different judge can sit in and listen to the argument and make a pronouncement. So the indication being made that certain lawyers for certain accused people are unavailable, and it looks like people are compelling, or the judiciary is compelling them to represent during those vacations, I believe it's not right and must be looked at. Nobody is arguing that cases cannot be heard during legal vacation, but the argument being made is that are the parties involved willing to be available out of their calendar? And if truly they are willing, why not? If you are accused and you want a speedy trial, why not? If you want the trial to also be done fairly and adequately through processes, why not? You call for it, because everybody has the right to be heard, and everybody has the right to a counsel that will be available to listen to them. My brother Kutin made a pronouncement that during the motion moved by Chairman Wontumi for an appeal, that the lawyers of Chairman Wontumi did not appear. The report I have here suggests that that claim is false. The report I have here suggests that the lawyer indicated that he or she is indisposed. That is the report we had. That the judge indicated that she is indisposed. That is
it was the judge that was indisposed. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, not the lawyers. The judge indicated that she was indisposed. So to claim that the lawyers refused to show up is false and not the fact of the matter.
So do I understand you to say that Atacha was in court on that day? Is that what you're saying?
Because the deputy attorney general was there.
Well, is that
all right?
Do I understand
the report the report out is that the judge was indisposed. Atacha doesn't necessarily have to be in court. So he can be represented.
So let's make that.
He can be represented.
Lawyers,
who was the lawyer in court for Chairman
was not in court.
I mean, the lawyers were not in court.
But it is not based on the absence of the lawyers that the case was.
I want to look at the petition.
It is not based.
Your platform is a serious platform on public.
Yes.
The idea that lawyers cannot be compelled during legal vacation is novel. Like I pointed out, it is not at the instance of lawyers. It is for the judge. This is not for lawyers to say, I will be available or I will not. When the judge and a warrant is given, yours is to unveil yourself.
There are cases.
And when you cannot,
let me look at the petition.
There are cases.
Thank you, gentlemen. Now let's go to the petition. And Shadrach, let's go through some of the highlights of that petition, and based on the demands of lawyer Pierre Dankwa. and then also Solomon Owusu of the United Party. These are the concerns they are raising and the demands also be made in that petition. We'll apprise you of that as we put the highlights on the screen for you. Already we have Lawyer Dankwa joining us on stream as well, that they're calling for the investigation into allegations that the minority leader, Alexander Apenyo-Markin, personally or through others, attempted to obtain some $1 million from the Ghana Gold Board. And subsequently, the petition also links the alleged demand to claims of reputational attacks, adverse publicity, political pressure or threatened official or parliamentary action, and allegedly in exchange for payment or an agreement to stop such conduct. And it goes on subsequently. And then also talks about a role of alleged intermediaries, because there's been commentary that has also been made pointing to allegations by one Eric J, also a lawyer, by the CEO for NAPE as well, and the petitioners also acknowledging that they do not currently possess the communications or recordings underlying the allegations, and they would want the investigators to obtain same or statements in relation to that, alongside messages. If there are email correspondence, they would want that as well. If there are records of financial exchanges, that as well. One of them is Lawyer Dankwa. Lawyer Dankwa, we cede to you this morning, and the petition. I mean, these are commentaries that have been made by those individuals, whether it's Gold Board CEO as well as Eric J. Why do you want to go to the extent of raising a full petition to a number, to a number of institutions as well, and how many of them? Lawyer Dankwa.
Yeah, so Roland, thank you once again for this opportunity to explain the reason why Mr. Solomon Owusu, my brother, and myself believe that the issues that were raised concerning the Gold Board issues ought not to be left hanging, but it's in the interest of this democracy. It is in the interest of the principles that underpins this democracy that investigations are done. Two, one, determine the veracity or not of the allegations, and if indeed they are true, then the terms of our constitution, the terms of our criminal laws ought to be enforced in the interest of our country. Now, let me give a background. You know, in 1992, the people of Ghana took upon themselves a constitution. They took upon themselves this constitution, believing that it represented the best framework in which we could secure for ourselves and posterity the blessings of liberty, equality of opportunity, and prosperity. The constitution also made it clear that all sovereign power belongs to the people, not some. All sovereign power belongs to the people. And here, when we say sovereign power, we mean executive power, legislative power, judicial power, all belongs to us, the people. However, we have ceded these powers to certain persons, and the persons we have ceded the powers to are to use these powers for one reason and one reason only. They must exercise the power in a manner and within the limits laid down in this constitution for the welfare of the people. So, to that end, and in my opinion, based on our checkered constitutional democratic history, the constitution itself then created institutions which, in the opinion of the constitution, ought to be the vanguard of the principles that would secure for us this constitutional democracy. One of the critical institutions was Shiraj. And when you read our constitution, one of the fundamental duties our constitution grants Shiraj is to be the ombudsman for accountability, especially when it comes to matters that borders on abuse of power. Now, our view has been that our constitution has woefully failed to deliver on this promise. The promise of the promises are earlier stated, being was for the blessings of liberty, equality of opportunity, and prosperity. Our constitution has fundamentally failed to secure for us these ideals. And our view is that the reason why it's failed to secure for us these promises is because of the culture, the political culture in the country. In our view, our political culture is very parochial as against patriotic. We have a very negative constitutional culture because we failed to show fidelity to the values of our constitution. And for us, our view is that that culture ought to stop, and we want to draw a line that going forward we ought to deliberately create a political culture, a political culture that will hold political leadership accountable, and to a constitutional culture that demands patriotism and that demands an unalloyed fidelity to the values and principles stated clearly in our constitution. To that end, we take the allegations that Honorable Sami Gyamfi, made very, very seriously. One, because of the position he holds, because of his personal reputation, as in he's somebody that Solomon and myself respect a lot. And so that when Sami Gyamfi speaks, we think that it ought not to be looked at as if it were a joke. You understand? Now, what essentially is Sami Gyamfi saying? Sami Gyamfi is saying that the former majority leader of the Parliament of Ghana, the current minority leader of the Parliament of Ghana, has attempted extorting from him. Now, when we say extortion, what does it simply mean? It means that when somebody wants to forcibly take money from you or take a property from you so that he would not divulge certain information about you. Now, we know that extortion is a crime under our laws. I think Section 151 is a crime under our laws. 2, if indeed the minority leader of Ghana, the former majority leader, currently the minority leader, who is exercising powers that belongs to the people, and so to that end, he is our agent. You understand? And our constitution makes it clear that he should use those powers within the limits of our constitution, but to what end? To the interest and welfare of the people. So if he's using those powers in a manner, you understand, that will inure to his private benefit, then it constitutes a fundamental betrayal, a fundamental breach of the powers we gave him. And to that end, if those allegations are true, then one, we ought to take action as prescribed by our constitution. So Sharaj has to look at it. And if it means that he has to be sacked as an MP and as a minority, then we take that step, not to change the constitution in this country. And 2, if it also constitutes a crime, then the criminal action must be taken against him, because also one of the fundamental principles that underpins our constitution is the principle of the rule of law. And the rule of law says we are all equal before the law. And so we ought to change that culture where people we've granted our powers to suddenly assume a position of they being above the law. We are all equal before the law. And we must guard those values jealously. It is to this end and the impact that that negative culture has had on the ability of Ghana to fulfill the promises of our democracy, that Solomon Uso and myself have petitioned the necessary bodies to have a thorough investigation into the allegations. Now, if the investigations are done and it comes out that indeed there was extortion, then we must apply the laws to its fullest limits. If it turns out that the allegations are not true, then it will be in the national interest that also appropriate steps are taken to protect the reputation of the honorable minority leader. Because you see, where we are as the people, we can't continue doing the politics in the manner in which we have done our politics. You understand? Beyond the reset agenda and all, we need to bring some sanctity into our politics. We need to create a culture that would ensure that this constitutional democracy we've taken upon ourselves can be sustained and protected. We need to have a constitutional culture that ensures that the values that we have copiously stated as being values that underpins our constitution are upheld. This business of a politician makes an allegation, someone makes an allegation, and then we reduce this to a talk show ought to stop. Because ultimately...
But Lawyer Piadankwa, you and Solomon, so do you have to petition 5 institutions at the same time? The Attorney General, Shraj, the OSP, Speaker of Parliament, and even the CID, 5 at a time?
Yes, because like I told you, see, so look at the petition from 2 angles. So there are 2 things we are looking for ultimately. One, the potential abuse of political power. The potential abuse of political power. And we believe that when it comes to investigation concerning the potential abuse of political power, then the proper institutions to deal with are Shiraj and Parliament itself. 2, the potential criminal allegation of crime. Because I told you Article 1, Section 151 of our criminal code. Unfortunately, you are one of the finest criminal lawyers in studio as we speak. See, people shouldn't be seeing that right now in CEO. Right, which is one of the finest criminal lawyers you can find in the country. He's in studio, and I'm sure he can explain why extortion, the fact that extortion is a crime under our laws. Because Honorable Sami Jemfi has alleged that it was called Honorable Afinomakin, the former majority leader of the Parliament of Ghana, the current minority leader of the Parliament of Ghana, and it's very critical. It's very, very critical because you see people who have taken an oath want to be faithful to Ghana, which means that they're going to be faithful to the values, the ideals, the principles of Ghana. People who have taken an oath to defend, protect, preserve the laws of Ghana, you understand, cannot be seen to be the people breaching the law as if they are above the law. I'm saying because there's an allegation of a crime having been committed, then yes, we have to bring the Attorney General, we have to bring the OSP, between the 2 of them, they can decide who will prosecute. You have to bring in the IGP, you have to bring in the CID. So a thorough investigation is done into this allegation that has the potential of testing the faithfulness of the people of Ghana in this our constitution.
Okay.
But you see, immediately the people start losing faith in the ability of this our constitution to provide or to fulfill its promises. Our constitutional democracy is gone. And then when you consider the fact that the essence of this constitutional democracy, beyond what I stated earlier, one is to protect our right to our lives.
Okay.
And when it's our right to our lives, it should not be seen just in the negative sense.
You and Solomon also as petitioner, have you formally submitted the petition, or do you intend, when do you intend for?
So because we are outside, we sent an email to all the all the institutions that we petitioned, and I'm sure this morning our clerk will fiscally give them copies of. But we sent soft copies via email to all the institutions.
And then you do the fiscal copies submission.
Also,
all right. Thank you. Just hold on there. Hold on there. Since you're with. So what do you make of this in the first place? I mean, it looks like a matter that is raging on, and now we've come to the point where these 2 individuals, rightfully responsible citizens of the Republic, but also political players, say these allegations need to be investigated. Lawyer DJ.
Okay, so once again, thank you. I think that because we are practicing a constitutional democracy, citizens have the right to ascertain when they feel strongly about any issue, to petition all appropriate agencies to help with that. And let me say that this is not going to be the first time that we're going to have petitions. Kofi Kumsin, you remember Kofi Kumsin? He used to do a lot of petitions against the appointees of Rawlings to Shraj, among others. And so, over the period, we've had all kinds of petitions, some for removal and others. In the specific instance, my brother Sami Jemfi has made specific allegation of extortion against no other person by the leader of the minority in Parliament. That, for me, is the gravity of the allegation. Yesterday, I watched my learned senior, Afenyo Makin, on one of the shows, I think on a sister platform. And when he was specifically asked the question whether or not he would sue as it were, to clear. Because, you know, in this life, one of the major currency an individual will have is his reputation. He responded by saying that in the Bible, serious allegations were made against Christ, and he kept quiet.
Serious allegations were made against...
And he kept quiet.
Jesus Christ?
And he kept quiet. Maybe the understanding that I pick is that he has taken the view that in the circumstance, he feels that there's no need to press with this matter. That's a matter, you know, particularly to him. He can decide or elect what he wants to do. But that does not also preclude any individual who feels strongly that the matters go beyond just trading. I mean, you see, if these allegations had no criminality, that's a different matter. But because these allegations go to the point of criminality, any citizen of this country can pick it up for the law enforcement agencies to do. And in that case, what it will mean is that a statement would have to be taken from my brother Sammy, whereupon he may provide some evidence, and then Mr. Afenyo-Markin, Honorable, would also be reached out to also provide a response. And if there are bases for the matter to even escalate to the court, that would also happen. But you see, Roland, why are we even here in the first place? I think that, Roland, sometimes when serious issues come in this republic, if the minority, and I say this, if the minority has taken a more nationalistic outlook on the IMF report, we possibly wouldn't have gotten to the point where it has now been reduced to smear campaign. We will not. A more nationalistic approach to the IMF report would have resolved this matter. Yes, a more nationalistic approach would have resolved this matter. Why do I say this? When you treat an accounting cost as a loss, you'd want to find out what is the motive for that. Roland, after the financial crisis that happened in the United States, or maybe globally, the subprime
2007, 2008.
Yes, the subprime mortgage crisis. When President Obama took over in 2009, do you know what he did? He took a nationalistic approach, an approach that will save Americans' economy, an approach that will build America for the future. He didn't ask, how did my predecessor sit down and allow this subprime mortgage, blah, 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 blah. No, he didn't do that. He took a nationalistic approach. I think at that time, Ben Bernanke was the Fed boss. They introduced what became known as quantitative easing. What was this quantitative easing business? It was to print money into the United States. It's the US alone that has the power to print the dollar. So the Fed decided to print dollars into the system to ease the pressure that was going to happen, because they took the view that a collapsed US economy is not only to Americans, but to the world. Therefore, they took a decision to protect the US economy and protect the world. What is this IMF conversation all about? That for the first time, a president comes and says, look, from the time of Don Diego de Azambuja, we have been drilling and mining gold, selling gold since that time. But what has really been the value of gold to us? What has really backed our currency? Look, my brother here would admit, every year, finance ministers from time immemorial only relied on cocoa, syndicated loan. And in most cases, bonds, Euro bonds, to provide the necessary support for the Ghana cedi. President John Dramani Mahama was in opposition, having assembled his economic advisors, decided, and it's in the NDC manifesto, that the way forward is to have an institution established called the Ghana Gold Board. We've had the Cocoa Board experiment. So therefore, the NDC decided to set up the Gold Board. It is an innovation. Nobody had done that since time immemorial. Why? Because you notice that gold that is so precious, that can provide the necessary stability for the Ghana cedi, we've left it for foreigners, regrettably. We had no control over the gold trade, no regulation whatsoever. It has to take President Mahama to do that. And by so doing, what we have achieved for the first time in Ghana's history, Roland, is it not curious that for a whole year 2025, government of Ghana had not borrowed $1 Euro bond, but the Ghana cedi is strengthened. When the cedi showed strength, our friends in the MPP said it was short-lived. And Kosiaga, this one, it is just for showmanship. We are in the almost 20th month, correct? And the cedi is still strong. 20 months of strength of the Ghana cedi.
And you attribute that to the innovation?
Is it not curious that the people who said that the Ghana cedi would not be strong enough will not have the humility to say we got it wrong? They are new men, new thinking, innovation. People have decided to think outside the box. I think that the governance system that we have, when you are doing something good, we should have the opportunity to say, this one is good. And I have always, and I said it, I have always maintained that free SHS was a good thing. I won't take that away.
You can't dispute that. It's a fact.
So if today, through somebody's innovative thinking, thinking outside the box, we have a gold board, do you know that, Roland, in a year, forest repatriation into the economy was $10 billion. In 6 years, under the MPP administration, in 6 years, we borrowed $11 billion of Eurobond. Can you imagine the interest payment on Eurobond alone? Roland, just for a minute.
But that's why the minority leader still insists that if you take all things into consideration, the domestic gold purchase program by the government, that's the John Dramani-led government, which is being spearheaded by the Gold Board, has failed as a result of what he calls these losses.
You see,
he said that less than 12 hours ago.
A fair reading, yes, and I choose my word carefully, a fair reading of the IMF report, even the IMF in their report admits that beyond this, what they create or they called losses, and I call it costs. If you look at it well, they said the benefit has been tremendous.
And they indicated.
Yes, and in the report itself, they catalog what the benefit has been to the economy. I say this. In 3 years, the IMF gave us $3 billion. Remember, it's a loan. You pay interest on it.
And conditionalities.
And conditionalities. That is money making for the IMF. Now you have a situation where through innovation, you've lost 22 billion, 1.7 billion on getting 10 billion. That's a good business decision.
That's right.
If you invest 1.7 billion, listen carefully. If you invest $1.7 billion into an enterprise, and at the end, it brought you $10 billion, $10.8 billion, and a revolving fund, how in God's name can anybody call this a bad initiative? But you see, like I said,
Edit rapper for me.
Our friends in the MPP have found themselves in a quagmire. And I'll explain in 30 seconds. You see, you go ahead of yourself to elect a flag bearer. And the strength of that flag bearer that has been sold to all of us is that he's an economic whiz kid. Now, when he goes into an election leading you with a disaster of a result, right, you would need something more to ignite his campaign. Dr. Mahmoud Bamia was elected by the MPP as flag bearer on 31st of January 2026. And from that time, he's stuck because he needs a crisis. He needs a major disaster, economic in nature,
30 seconds,
to revive his political career.
30 seconds.
Regrettably, that is not happening. And that is why this gold board costs, or Bank of Ghana costs, is now being re-engineered as losses for the purposes of reviving a campaign that is in a quagmire.
Jamalu,
I am not surprised at all.
Roland, it is
a response. Even the minority leader just less than 12 hours ago now says that we even need to have the speaker make sure he approves the motion, table it, and subsequently live proceedings of the hearing telecasted.
Roland, thank you for the opportunity. It was interesting listening to my brother here, you know, making it look as if we needed Sami Yesu to come and save the economy and the CD and whatever. You see, the whole thing is simple. My brother throughout his submission, Eduji throughout his submission, couldn't deny the fact that losses have been made. And the losses, it stands at $1.7 billion. That is 22 billion Ghana cedis. So if you hear the two figures, don't think it is something different. It is the same thing. It's equivalent to cedis is 22 billion Ghana cedis. This is a huge sum of money. Which
there's a huge sums of money.
Yes, which the issue out there once is inquiring or is pushing for a detailed inquiry. A motion has been moved in Parliament. The first one was squashed by the NDC and their numbers not to invite Sami Jemfi into Parliament.
Who told you that?
How did the motion end? The motion was moved. Members of the majority felt they had the numbers, so they have to protect their so-called Sami Yesu from coming to account. And this whole saga and accusation and it's going to it deliberately shifting posts to become a personal attack is a strategy. First and foremost, nobody dislikes Sami Jemfi. In fact, he's a young man who has had the opportunity to sit at a very important position in this country. And as a young man like him, I would first of all be happy for him. And aside from that, I wish I also had the opportunity. But when we are raising issues about his stewardship, doesn't mean somebody is witch hunting him or somebody dislikes him. We have to make that case clear enough. The issue is simple. The IMF does reports, and its reports, it does it with data provided by the Bank of Ghana, data provided by the Finance Ministry, among other agencies and ministries that they collaborate to bring out the report. After the report, they now sit with stakeholders in Ghana to discuss and agree or approve the report. The report has indicated that in the issue of the gold purchasing program that we've been doing as a country, we've made losses. These are not allegations by the minority or allegations spearheaded by Afenyo Maken. It is a statement of facts established in a report by IMF. Unless my brother here is telling us that the report made by IMF was a lie. But if you cannot dispute the report, what is the report saying? The report goes further to indicate where the losses were made. First of all, the report captured the exchange rate between, or the forex losses, where the rate at which the gold is purchased on the ground is different from the rate that is the Bank of Ghana uses, or the interbank rate. So the abortive rate is used to purchase goods on the ground. Definitely, when you come and you are doing your accounting with the interbank rate, there will be losses. Aside from that, they made mention of assay losses.
Fees.
Assay fees, which are part of the losses.
And other operational costs.
And other operational costs, which are part of the losses. Nobody is disputing that. And off-takers discounts. Nobody is disputing that those losses have been made. Now, the argument people are making is that, or Sami Jenfi and his co-hosts are making is that, the losses are not borne by them because they did not sell the gold. But here is the case. The indication,
the argument being made by the Gold Board is very simple. They say they are agents of the Bank of Ghana.
The indication,
and are taking the service on behalf of the
IMF,
Bank of Ghana.
when they were talking, you didn't.
He asked me a question.
Well, let me land when you ask your question. You see, the IMF indicated the reason for the losses. When you look at the reason for the losses, it is not only BOG's case, or it is not as a result of actions and activities of the BOG that accumulated those losses. The report also indicated the role of Gold Board in the said losses. So who have made those losses? If you've been giving money to go and trade in gold, go and buy gold from the ordinary Ghanaians, if you've been giving money and the money at the end of the day, the money do not tally, you've made losses. And the losses to date have not been disputed. What they are trying to do is to shift the goalposts. Shifting the goalposts by engaging in character assassination, personal attacks, insult and derogatory remarks to change the discussion and divert it from being defensive to being attack. And when you look at this whole thing, if you're a PR person, if you understand PR, you laugh.
You are laughing at which?
At the strategy being deployed to shift the goalposts from looking into the matter.
Who is shifting the goalposts?
The Gold Board and the NDC are shifting the goalposts from discussing the matter or scrutinizing the matter to now blaming Afenyo Markin of engaging in extortion. If indeed Afenyo Markin...
Are you aware that the Gold Board CEO says that if...
I am aware that the Gold Board CEO...
If he is summoned before Parliament to appear...
I am aware that the Gold Board CEO, in finding ways to hold a straw or to hold a stem that can make him stand on his feet based on the losses that have been indicated by IMF, which he initially denied that indeed Gold Board has made losses. In his quest to defend himself, is now throwing shades and throwing allegations all over. If indeed there's an issue of extortion, it's a criminal issue. Why is he not reporting the issue? We can discuss. Afenyo and the minority believes that in as much as we know you are attacking us, we'll put the attack aside. Let us discuss the issue. How did these losses come about? And you know the funny thing, if we are going to look at the details and the issues surrounding Gold Board, I can tell you emphatically that Ghana has made more than $1.7 billion losses. How or why am I saying that? You know that Gold Board, when given the mandate by the Constitution to undertake or supervise all acquisition of golds in this country, were given a 1.5 withholding tax holiday, where the 1.5 withholding tax that is charged on the purchase of gold was vacated for Gold Board. So there is no instance that Gold Board would come and tell us that based on the trade they've done, based on the report that has been brought by the BOG, the report that has been brought by the Finance Ministry, the report that has been brought by the IMF that came to audit the activities of the country within 2025 have made losses. Because even in your activities, taxes that are supposed to be beneficiary based on the quantum of transaction Gold Board has done, experts have indicated that that tax holiday alone, the 1.5 withholding tax, should be amounting to $2 billion. When you attach that to the $1.7 billion, that is now obvious that is a loss Ghana has incurred in our gold trade activities. It's an issue of concern. So my brother says here, make it as if, yes, the losses are legitimate and shouldn't be a problem because Sami Yesu has come to rescue the economy. Is he, as a lawyer, telling us that if you've been given, you see, there are issues of corruption. There are different
Jamal,
issues.
I ask you a question.
Yes.
Are you aware that the Gold Board CEO says that he's
I would
ever
want
ready
to land with this with 30 seconds.
He is summoned before Parliament to appear.
If
these vexed matters you're raising to be explained.
If he is ever ready, then why is the majority shielding him? Why is the majority shielding him? I'm coming back to the issue of corruption, where I indicated the causing financial loss is part of corruption.
You have a minute. Please wrap up.
Misapplication of public funds is part of corruption, among others.
So what are the particulars?
I'm not indicating, but as a lawyer, for you to say that based on the goodwill and the good intentions surrounding the whole Gold Board issue, therefore, when losses are made,
So
we should ignore those losses and move on. It's surprising to me because as a lawyer, in as much as you are young, you are classified as a senior lawyer. I didn't expect you to go that tangent. The fact of the matter is that Yakoton gold aboka. And the car, and you see, you said 214. When we came, you people said the program we implemented, was not a good program. It was born to fail, among others, the gold purchase program. Then you made all sort of claims that when you come, you implement a better policy to ensure that when we are trading in gold, we will not make such losses. And today, we've not made 240 million losses. We've made 1.7 billion on record. When you take the withholding tax, you are moving towards $4 billion.
How much gold did you purchase?
It's not about purchase. It is about the you said you do something better. What are you doing now?
How critical is it, knowing that the CEO for Gold Board now says that if I'm summoned by Parliament, I would appear? For him to appear, for these matters to be explained further, and then also explain on how the operations went and how the losses occurred.
Roland, thank you for having me once again. And very good morning to the good people of South Bend, to Ghanaians, my good friend Edweji and my brother Jamal.
Brother, you abandoned.
And then to my good friend Lawyer Pierre Dankwa. You see, when we are doing analysis of this nature, Roland, we'll compare what is happening now versus what happened in the past. Unfortunately, NPP is the government that just handed over power to the NDC. You see, we must do politics of honesty, because in the past, due to the new media, politics of propaganda doesn't work anymore.
I don't understand.
You see, you try to stick and paint something black so that it will go in the minds of people that this is what is happening. Whilst you know in your subconsciousness that is not the case.
Are you saying currently it's not sticking?
Let me ask something. Is it the first time as a country we have made losses in our gold purchase program?
No. So we should be making losses and going.
For the last, since 2016 to date, we have always incurred such losses. What we should be concerned about is the benefit it brings in.
on record from 2021. Those are the specific years that we have.
Exactly.
The gold purchase
so
program.
So my brother Jamal said 1.7 is so much billion, right? Look at the quantum of gold involved.
Yes.
And look at the profit that it is bringing. $10.8 billion.
104 tons.
So in your time.
So we should let it go and go.
No, in your time. You said you incurred losses of $200 and something million, correct?
It's 400 according to the IMF.
No, granted what he's saying. I want to go by his logic. I want to go. Yes, I know it's 400 million.
Let's have some sanity.
But he's saying 200.
The IMF indicates it's 400. Let's stick to the facts.
Let's even deal with it.
What quantum of gold was involved?
Exactly.
What quantum of gold was involved?
48, 45, 42.
Forget about it.
You see, losses are not the same as looting. Let's get certain things clear. There are two things.
Losses are not the same
as looting. You are making it look as if somebody have gone to take the $1.7 billion and has put it in the pocket. Why are we not talking about the reserves? MPP handed the reserves of 8.9 billion. What is the current reserves? $14 billion. Why are you not talking about, what do you think brought in that reserve? Those are the benefits.
Import
cover. Now, we are talking about inflation. Inflation when you left. What was the inflation at the time? Even in 2022 and came to 2023, inflation now is at where? Look at the cedi appreciation.
Yes. We should ignore the losses.
No, wait.
Where you are coming from?
I am balancing the two so that we look at it. So listen. When you look, I did economics. Yes. Many people don't know. Yeah. And you see, our job.
Can we allow him to make
our job? Actually is to do a proper analysis for the benefit of our listeners. Now, Jama, more often when I appear on program, people say inflation have come down. They are not seeing it in the real prices of goods and services. Jama, if in 2022, inflation went as far as 53%, that is how much prices were rising at that point. So the prices remain. So at this point, the prices are no longer rising at that point, but at the 5%.
You to know that the 54% inflation at that time took 850,000 people into poverty.
That is where I was even coming to. So when you were talking, please.
Let's have some decorum.
So let's look at the gold reserves as well. Look at the increment, over 50% as compared to what was left. Then Ghana is now the 6th world largest producers of gold in the world. If not, look, sometimes, politics of dishonesty is not helping us.
What the minority leader does indicate is the fact that irrespective of the benefits, whether import cover, shoring up the cedi against the major trading currency, the dollar, etc., the losses by way of the implementation of the policy needs to be looked at. And because it is Gold Board and agents of the Bank of Ghana doing the trading, accounting for these losses, we need to go into this.
Look, Roland, the IMF report was clear. And your TV station even did fact-checking. Where in the report did the IMF say that the losses start with Gold Board? They said BOG. So why are we not dealing with BOG and the Gold Board? Is it because the Gold Board is the low-hanging fruit you can attack and paint it what it is not?
Low-hanging fruit?
Of course, because the report we are talking about never mentioned that the losses start with the Gold Board. They say IMF report even to talk about the Gold Board making surplus. Why are you not talking about the surplus? And let's look at it this way. The two issues here is accountability and extortion. That's the current issue. The accountability issue lies with Parliament. And Afenyo Makin, as a former majority leader and currently the minority leader, knows best. Is that not it? The Public Account Committee is there. What Afenyo should have done, if he wanted to be nationalistic like my brother Edoji spoke about, was to summon BOG through the Minister of Finance to come to Parliament and explain why they incurred the $1.7 billion losses, not the gold board. And the extortion aspect lay with the courts. And I am happy that my good friends Solomon Owusu and then lawyer Apia Danko have taken it up. And let me put on record, there's a trend that is unfolding, and it is a direct attack on the integrity of Parliament. You remember when some MPs rose against the former Minister of Finance, Ken Ofori-Atta, an allegation of extortion was made about a businessman coming to give money to settle the MPs. But Parliament failed to investigate.
Not extortion, bribery.
Bribery, okay. And let me also give you this thing. On 7th October 2015, the MPP itself, Simon Afenyo Makin, to scrutinize him over
7th October
2015. I have the story here.
And that's a long time ago.
Yes, I'm making a point.
Why are you going back into history?
You see, when there are patterns, as a security analyst, you always look at the pattern. You understand? That's why I started by the Ken Ofori, Apia Debnako, and now I'm talking about Afenyo himself under the MPP. MPP scrutinizes Afenyo Makin over extortion allegation. It has to do with the Agri Development Bank issue when it was alleged that he tried extorting money to abandon the case. You remember that case very well. So that is Afenyo Makin's own party. And now the same issue is playing out.
It's not the same issue, please.
Oh,
board has made
is it not an accusation of extortion?
Board and BOG have made losses.
No, sir, no.
And that is the issue here.
We
that is not the same
We have
issue.
put the
It is
losses.
not the same
Look,
issue.
we have put the losses
Don't try to
rest.
shift the goalpost.
Who is shifting
we
the
know these
goalpost?
elementary politics
It's
and
not
PR tactics.
It's not elementary.
Stick to the issue.
You see,
we've done politics for so many years and we understand
the truth is very bitter.
So, you know, I asked a critical question.
Yes.
Why do you have to go back into history? You say that there's
I'm looking at the
traceability
pattern.
and history.
Exactly.
Okay.
So Afenyo Makin ought to really be investigated.
But Afenyo Makin's response says, even Jesus Christ in the Bible, all manner of allegations and things were thrown at him, but he remained resolute. And eventually, he became the Messiah, as we all know. So eventually, Afenyo could become the Messiah.
They're saying that the two of us sitting, if something happened, Edoji's name is mentioned. The second time happening, Edoji's name is mentioned. We have to be curious to find out why it is Edoji and it's not Jamal and it's not Emmanuel Putin.
Therefore,
so
$1.7 billion
Jamal, you've been very disruptive.
And you see,
allow him to make this point.
You see, Roland.
Please wrap up for me.
I think that the MPP must find a different way of communicating to the Ghanaian people. MPP just came out of government. The tactics of trying to stick something by force. If you go to social media, what you see on social media is that Semi Jemfi have stolen our money, $1.7 million.
Who said that?
And it's not the case. You are talking about the same thing here. You mentioned that. It's a BOG cost. Not
Lawyer Pierre Dankwa.
Boys cost.
Lawyer Pierre Dankwa.
It's not. Look, Ghanaians are more discerning this time.
Please, let me speak to one of the petitioners. And I think that as we're privileged, there are also one or two of them who are regulars on the show as well as other shows as well. Now, who among, in terms of the institutions, do you want to deal with this petition expeditiously? Foremostly knowing that the minority leader is the leader of the minority in parliament, and so the speaker rightfully is there. We have the OSP enjoined by the OSP Act also to act in the stead based on the content of the petition. And of course, we have the CID that you've also petitioned. The swiftness, which of them would you want quickly look at the subject matter and in which chronology or order? Just 3 minutes for this, please.
Yeah, so you see, let's get the issue straight. There are two broad issues: abuse of power, and then the potential and the allegation of criminality. For the abuse, the alleged abuse of power, I think Shiraz should deal with that ASAP. Shiraz should deal with that ASAP. And when it comes to the alleged criminal bit of petition. Of course, the police CID should deal with that. What's called ASAP, and they must act expeditiously, because see, what is at stake is the very future of this constitutional democracy. And then the matter becomes very serious when you consider the purpose for why we took this framework. It has gone beyond the promises. This is the best system, in my opinion, in our humble opinion, that can protect our right to our lives, rights that we say are inalienable, meaning that nature itself gives those rights to us, our rights to our liberties, and a fundamental right to pursue our own happiness. You see, we should, I'll follow the show, and I see certain politicians are too interested in protecting the interests of their party as against the national interest. This matter goes to the very foundation of our constitutional democracy, to Article 1, which says clearly that sovereign power belongs to the people. And anybody that holds that sovereign power must use that power solely for the welfare of us, the citizens. So that it is very critical that this matter is investigated. But if there's evidence that indeed the former majority leader, the current minority leader, has used the powers we gave him to advance his parochial individual agenda, then we ought to take an action. We ought to take an action that will shape the culture of how politics is done in our country. Because for a generation, we've done politics in a manner that has failed to deliver on its promises. And we ought, as a people, within the confines of our constitutional democracy, to alter, to change that culture. We are calling for a constitutional revolution. We need a revolution, a change in mindset, a change in terms of our faithfulness, our loyalty, our fidelity to this constitution. And that revolution must start with this investigation. So if the investigation is done, and it turns out that indeed there was an abuse of power, then we must deal with him. He must be sacked.
All right.
If the investigation turns out that indeed there was criminality, then the full rigors of the punishment regime under that offense ought to be meted out. We can't create a system where we encourage impunity.
Okay.
Where people think that they can
All
act
right.
in a manner and go scot-free. So, you see, for me, I know I don't want to go into the whether who did. At the end, was there extortion, like has been alleged? Was there extortion? Was there an abuse of power? If indeed the result is positive, then we ought to take action.
Okay.
And for me, that's the interest.
Okay.
As the solo,
All right. Please, 2 minutes for you.
2 minutes.
I want us to have a brief on Adamus before we go.
I'm just going to be 2 minutes.
Yeah, 2
Listen,
minutes.
you see, my learned senior Afenyo, and he knows I have a great deal of respect for him. What I found extremely concerning was the direct threats. I'm coming. When you make your point about IMF laws, and you proceed by talking about bail condition, look, there's nobody on earth that you threaten the person's liberties and will be happy with you. Nobody, not even him, my senior. So I think that he, minority leader Afenyo Markin, also must soberly reflect on the, if this conversation was limited to the losses or costs, we won't be where we are.
But he is categorically said they only want to get to know
where
the operations.
No, but you see, yes, getting to know is a fair constitutional.
And why the losses?
But where you proceed to now say your bail condition will be onerous, regardless of how well-intentioned that conversation is, I will not be happy with you. Okay. Because our political history has shown how people have been unfairly prosecuted.
Interesting.
And that unfair prosecution is evident. So if you threaten me, I won't take it lightly with you. That side. When the MPP, 2 minutes, please. When the MPP said they were doing the domestic gold purchase program, if you go and look at their own report,
the 2 minutes aside,
they indicated please, I beg you, what they call the forest liquidity support cost. Do you know that forest liquidity support cost is what the IMF described as loss? Because in the IMF report, the IMF says that there's an interest spread or rate spread That is the Bank of Ghana rate and the Abochi rate. And because BOG was purchasing the gold with the Abochi rate, that spread, they call it loss.
Yeah,
but when the MPP did the same thing, the MPP described it as what? Forest liquidity support costs. So it tells you that all this conversation is just about
cost.
2 minutes.
He's done 2 minutes. He's done 4 minutes. Look,
just conclude for me, please.
You see, this whole saga of trying to make it Afenyo Markin's defense and people trying to justify that based on the benefits that Gold Board has brought to Ghana, therefore we should ignore the losses and move on. It's neither here nor there. All what we are saying is that, yes, we admit the gold program has brought up a loss of 1.7 billion, which is 22 billion Ghana cedis.
Cost of 1.7
losses
billion.
of 1.7 billion dollars. And these losses, we have all not denied that the losses have been made. The argument is now where it sits. Should it sit on BOG's books or it should sit in Gold Box books? And what we are equally saying, if you look at the report that the IMF presented, the losses are as a cases or as a result of both Gold Board and the Bank of Ghana. So if we've made
the 200 million loss,
this is not. You see, this is not an issue of. And my brother goes further to say because Sami Jemfi was threatened, therefore he had the right to use the PR approach he's using.
You know what he said? No. He doesn't
That's his opinion. His interpretation
is what I'm interpreting. And what ordinary Ghanaians are interpreting. That based on the threat made on Sami Jemfi's person, he has the right to equally assassinate the character of Afenyo Markin.
No.
Roland.
2 minutes. But that is the case. But Roland, there's a critical question you failed to ask.
No, I didn't fail.
Because you failed.
No,
but I want to find out from
I didn't fail. He has held that submission and opinion since.
No, the $200 million under the MPP.
It's 400 according to the
benefit. It starts with who?
Based on the benefit we should ignore everything.
Roland, in every business transaction, there are costs.
Absolutely.
And there is a cost associated with our gold purchasing program. And the IMF says that cost is with the BOG.
Okay.
Let's fact check that, if that is it. And if we want to find out what occasioned the losses, the Public Account Committee is there, and they can summon the governor through the finance minister to come and explain why. 2, the issue of the extortion, right? It belongs to the court, and we must make sure that. Which court
please,
do we have
2
in
minutes.
this country?
You have 1 more minute remaining, please.
So we must make sure the allegations that have been leveled is pro, because Afenyo Markin has cleverly left it.
That's
his response.
The law shouldn't be pro.
But finally, the law shouldn't be pro.
But
you are not listening to me.
Okay.
I said that, and I'll place it on record.
In your face,
the accountability belongs to Parliament. A Public Accounts Committee is there. They should invite the governor of the Bank of Ghana through the finance minister. They will come. We look at the line-to-line actions that brought the cost. And the other thing about it's a cost. You can choose to call it whatever.
Please, your time is up.
My final thing is that
we are looking at
I want to appeal to the 2 political parties. We are becoming too pluralized on economic issues.
Nationalistic.
And we have to be nationalistic for once. It's not this kind of gymnastics or propaganda that will win us elections. Ghanaians are far discerning, and they are listening to the arguments we are making.
I mean, you know the compradors who wants to nationalize our gold resources. We shouldn't allow that.
The president gave a reprieve to Adamus Resources.
Yeah.
Just give me 2 minutes on this.
No, I am particularly happy that government has taken this decision, allowing Ghanaians to participate in the exploitation of our natural resources. For me, is what we should have been doing long time ago. Look, if you go to our crude resources, look at our participation in it. Low. A percentage, low. If you come to gold, the major gold traders are not Ghanaians. Yeah. And so, at the end, they repatriate all these profits outside. Adamus Resources, beyond taxes they pay, beyond the employment they will create, whatever gold, they will keep it here in Ghana. I saw when recently government took their decision to get Daman Resources to engineers and planners, you saw the off-taker agreement between engineers and planners and Gold Board, whereupon they are selling significant amount of their gold to Gold Board. That, for me, is where we need to move the conversation. I want to applaud government for this decision. When this Adamus issue started, if you recall, somebody even said government of Ghana was taking their mines and selling to the Chinese. I hope the people who made those claims today will have the humility, as it were, to say we got it wrong. President Mahama, as part of his research, want to involve indigenes in the exploitation of our natural resources. There was a time that the Achi mine, when the Achi mine, the lease expired, a certain government gave it to the Chinese. I don't want to mention their name. A certain government, please go ahead. A certain government gave it to the Chinese. Another government had the opportunity and said Ghanaians should do it. I mean, Ghanaians would have the choice to make.
Adamus Resources.
Okay, so
2 minutes.
Okay.
2 minutes. Then you have your bite. Okay.
I'm very happy there's a reprieve. It's one of the largest indigenous mining companies we have as a country. And the beauty is that jobs are being saved for the good people of Elembele. My challenge is that, you see, good regulations will always serve government interests. So the liabilities and the costs that led to the termination in the first place, it should be ring-fenced, because Adamus is bringing a lot of income. Over the period, they've been able to bring over $1 billion. So a company that can export goods to that tune should be able to pay its debts. And I think that government should not just allow the debts to go. They should ring fence it. And I'm even reading OPD on it for publication. It's on my Facebook page. Because of time, I'll leave
Security expert has written a whole 2 minutes on this, or even 1 minute if you can.
No, 2 minutes. I started at 9:1 and I'll end at 9:3. You see, the whole Adamus issue, first of all, we welcome the decision by the central government or the president to intervene. But you see, there's a question with that kind of intervention. You cannot build a system where regulations and structures will be ignored for the number one gentleman to always be intervening. What we want is a system where mining will go on and will not impact on our environment or will not impact on our society negatively. We endorses everything that has to do with legal and law-abiding mining. But when you look at the Adamus saga, where the ministry were making accusations of Adamus involving themselves in Galamsey, bringing on board Chinese national and among others. Adamus also has disputed such claims. And I believe if now the president feels it is not right
to take
the
Roland, his time is up.
It is not right. Roland, if
please allow him.
If the president feels,
no, he gave himself
if the president feels it is not right to take the license of Adamus, then the minister must be investigated. The minister must be investigated for reaching. The minister must be investigated for first of all coming into conclusion.
You guys, he's making some.
The minister or all stakeholders who were involved in the in concluding that Adamus license must be revoked, must be investigated. On what basis? Because in the instances where mines are being taken, we've heard reports of certain mines are being even forcefully taken. Like,
what is reprieve?
Must allow him to land. Jamaluddin.
There are instances like the Azuma and Azuma resources. We have reports and instances where licensed mines have been taken. Some
Shadrach Kabe, my lead producer, says my time is up. Shadrach, thank you for the extra time you've given me. I appreciate you so much. And then you've given me additional 3 minutes to read some messages. Shadrach Kabe is one of our lead producers. He's a lead producer for the show. This one is coming from Moses. And Moses says, please. Moses says, Roland, I want to know or understand something. What happens after buying the gold at $11, for example, and the global market price hits a record high? That variance, how do you describe it?
Don't put the profit in
the live price in real time of gold today is approximately 1,658.79 thousand Ghana cedis per gram for 24 karat gold. So we need to make sure that we have everything in place. And then Mark, we see also Akun also sends a message and says that okay. Prince Daniel York says, God bless Solo and Lawyer Pia Dankwa for being true patriots of Ghana. These matters can't just be discussed and then slide off. We must get to know what really happened. And then also I have Mrs. Vera Queening, who says that it's an interesting discussion. But let me ask, this extortion matter, is it true? And so we have that message. And then, okay, so Ebo Bachman is the name absent on the petition, but he's also in the UP alongside Lawyer Pia Dankwa and Solomon. He says, the MPP's hypocrisy on the domestic gold purchase program is difficult to understand. When they were in government, they described similar costs as forex liquidity support costs. What has changed, he asks. Why is the same phenomenon now being presented as a massive loss? You cannot change the name of the table simply because you have moved from one side of it to the other. The economy is stable and some people cannot sleep. Roland, read it for me. I have read it. And the last one, Neodek Atukwekwe, I see your message. And then Courage Kotoka, I see your message. Gabi Naku, I see your message. And then also Michael Kuma says, Roland, you have asked a very good question. Even though Eduji said I didn't ask a very good question. So Michael Kuma says I asked a very good question. It's the birthday of Togbi Penuku Godwin Ejo of Northtown. Wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
Because look, the $1.7 billion
as well.
Good one. We have to go and look.
Godwin Tamaklo.
The $1.7 million debts.
Yes, it's time now for sports, and Billy Shen is here. He has confessed that he missed me. However, he refused to call me. So we're going to have a very cold conversation at this point about sports because I'm not happy.
Bella?
Yes?
I would like to take a minute to apologize.
A minute is not enough. Use your whole sports segment.
The whole...
Yes, to apologize. Bring flowers, bring cake.
Okay, we'll be doing that as we talk about all the issues. So after every topic, I apologize.
Then you apologize. Yeah. You can do it in different languages. Makes it even more exciting,
Fine.
right? But good to see you. How are you doing?
I'm good.
I have missed you, actually.
I've missed you too.
I haven't seen you, what? Since World Cup ended.
Actually, yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You took a break?
Yes.
Okay, that explains it.
Yes.
I hope you're well rested now.
Yeah.
And you're back.
Yeah, I'm back.
Back to the stress. Because on the very first day, once you even come back from leave, the stress just comes
Of
back
course,
like
it
an
hits
avalanche,
you.
you know?
Yeah, it hits you
but
like that.
but I mean, speaking of which, I'm sure someone who's been through enough stress and is now enjoying his time in Saudi Arabia is Thomas Partey.
Yes.
And he finally gets to play for the club that he's moved to.
Yeah, Al
Tell us.
Shabab.
Okay.
He got that move, I think, over the weekend, and then immediately they gave him the opportunity to actually feature in their league game where they drew 1-1. He featured for about 32 minutes.
Wow.
Now, I've been seeing some of the videos they've been releasing. Thomas has become more active on social media.
Nice.
As compared to before where he's a bit more laid back. It's like he's given a new personality and all of that. And he did react after featuring for over 30 minutes in his debut for Al Shabab.
It's amazing. I like it. It's my first game here, and I thought we did great. We could have scored. We had a chance to score, but well, it's part of football. We have to just keep working hard and then try to make more points and get 3 points in our next game. Well, I think it's normal. I'll do my best to give everything to this club, and I'm really happy to be here.
I don't know if it's his cap that he's wearing, but he looks very fresh. Like, he looks refreshed.
Yeah.
He's been on a break for a while. I'm sure he's probably had enough time to deal with everything else that's happening.
True.
And this is like a new start for him.
True.
So does it mean that, you know, the English Premier League is over for him? He's not doing any of those?
I mean, I'm not sure he goes back to the English Premier League. I think at this stage of his career, he would definitely be looking at a place where he would just settle and earn as much as possible before he retires. He's 33. He's well advanced in age, so I think it's the right choice.
So is this a normal transition, or if it wasn't for the situation he found himself in, he could have still been playing in England?
There could have been a slight chance. I mean, he was in Villarreal in Spain, but that didn't work out as well.
Yeah.
The manager wasn't too pleased with the way he played. I think he's missed a step a bit. So it's only understandable that you go to a place where you can settle in quicker and you can...
And make more money.
Yeah, make more money
I
and show your
mean,
quality.
that's all the big players who are looking to retire. That's like their retirement plan.
Basically.
So make the money, finish, come home.
Yeah.
Because I was listening to John Painter, is it John Painter?
Yeah, John Painter.
Where he was talking about how, you know, if he had played longer, because for every team that he played, he bought a house or he bought, you know, he invested in properties and stuff. So if he had played longer, then he would have been able to.
Yeah.
For him, in the case of Thomas Partey, I'm sure that just playing in Saudi Arabia for just this period is enough to even buy as many properties and invest in businesses.
Yeah.
So I wish him the best. But his case still rages on. They're still in court at the moment.
Yeah, they'll still meet in court at a later date, and then we'll see how that develops.
How that goes. We wish him the best. We wish him the best. But moving on, we'll be talking about other Ghanaian players as well. Caleb Irenchi.
Yes,
Let's talk about him.
I mean, I was happy that he got to feature in the Premier League for the first time.
Yeah.
Although he was featuring against my club, and I knew my club would bamboozle him, which happened, and it's normal if you face the
You're still with
champion.
us now?
Oh, yes.
Okay. I thought you had changed your mind.
Change for what?
I'm just wondering. I mean,
This time you are winning everything.
Every day this time, but at the end of the day, two people lose. You carry on. Every day, you have been plenty talk. Then the cup will just sweep them like this. What you need to win is the Champions League.
Yes, we will.
Which won't happen.
We will win it.
Okay,
Don't
we wish
worry.
you luck.
Yes, thank you.
You were saying?
Yes, I was saying Caleb Irenchi, he grew up in Bechim, got all the way to Rise to Dream and Norgeland, and now he's entered the biggest league, arguably, in the world. And that is a really big boost for him. Now, 3 Sports actually sent Emmanuel Owusu, who is at our sister station in Akoma, to Bechim when he was actually making his debut. So he spoke to the people in the community as they watched Caleb Urenchi make his Premier League debut, and this is what they said.
If we say me say Caleb returning back to Premier League now or Denmark League no na yenya akwanya nhwe games ni bi enti me say over Premier League ni bi manage say ni Premier League no oba de benya akwanya hwehwe ni games weekends bia if the Premier League no na yehwe enti mani age pa say me say oba enti ena ma ba betan tem so kra me say the first games be ba be hwe bi ama ne man so tuma ko yi
ayi ne gi pebre ni ti kra na ma me be hwe ball bi se be bi wa ba no ye ni gi ho pa se ama ye kro no anima che ki e bon pa ye di na chi pa se ni bibia be ko so kama ma ye ki e gina na chi pa
ni che pa mi kra me ni wo mu na che man tem ba ko ono pa anyimiri aboba bu video nyina mi hu na my match was in the first match from Sababi on I feel about new team war England ni je bebrebe say and e offer sen e ma ni je bebrebe ni o mu nyina teman table ba ko
ye mpa bo say nyame be mana wodi na premier mana kwan on say premiership no quite different from other leagues on say premiership play speed ne body on say players bebrebe bakora omuntimi empeke o ni team o good but premiership no me obre nti ehunu say the first appearance no so far yeah
oh me je ma wo ho a say grow like bechem e preparation and also in grow like ready na your team any player young player about national team and name more for academy now go be England EPL now if you can get championship no but like on the top teams in able ball me je ma wo.
Okay, so those are some ardent fans of Caleb Urenchi, of course, from his hometown. And I saw a photo of his mother and his father also seated watching.
Yeah, they were watching.
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah,
did we get to speak to them as well?
Yes, we did.
We engaged his family.
Yeah, we'll show that in the later days. We'll do a whole package on that. We have actually a special story on that.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
But they must be beaming with smiles, looking very proud that their son is playing on the international front. They didn't win their game, by the way, the first game, unfortunately. But he still featured for what, like an hour?
Yeah, like an hour.
That's a big deal.
It is.
And I remember when he moved to the club, Thomas Brandon Asante was there to welcome him, take him round. That was really, really cool as well.
And he had, Thomas was actually very happy with Caleb from the World Cup. He had hinted that he wanted to take him under his wing and then help him develop as a player. And so it's really cool that he's ended up at his club. And now it's going to be a very nice bromance to us.
Are they the only two Ghanaians in the club at the moment?
In the club, yes. But in the Premier League, in total, is 5.
Okay.
Yes.
5?
Yes, 5.
So we have Thomas, we have Caleb, who else?
We have Kudus, we have Fatah Isahaku.
Kudus is back?
Yes.
Okay.
And Antoine Semenyo.
Oh,
but Kudus hasn't started playing yet. He's not
He's still not fit.
Fully fit.
How long before?
Training.
He's training?
He's training with the team, yes.
So how long before you think he can make, or it depends on?
It depends on the coach. It depends on the form of the other players. So he just has to really give his best in training to convince the coach.
So all those videos you released during the World Cup, I thought that meant that he was ready to play full time.
Oh no.
It was just PR, just letting us know he's not out of the game completely.
Recovery sessions.
Well, I'm happy that he's doing better now. I mean, we cannot afford to lose a man like Kudus to injury. So if he's getting back on his feet, that's good news.
Yes.
Not just for Ghana, but for himself. Mental-wise, I mean, he needs it as well, right?
Yeah, he does.
So all the best to him and to all the other guys in the Premier League. Fingers crossed. Do we have any Ghanaian playing Real Madrid yet?
Oh no, not yet.
Has it ever happened?
Yes, Essien did.
Essien, he was at Real Madrid.
Yeah, back in 2013.
Is there ever going to be an opportunity currently?
Right now, unless Semenyo does something crazy.
So he's like our best bet to join in Real Madrid.
I feel. But even that, Madrid, they are stuck in the wing.
And that's
so it'll be hard.
We hear you. We'll see about that. Because right now I'm a Madrid fan.
Hey.
But isn't that where my boyfriend is?
Mbappe.
Wherever he goes, I go.
Oh, nice.
But I like Semenyo as well. So if Semenyo also joins Madrid, fine. So at the moment, I'm leaning more towards Man City. I'd have said Arsenal, but
what have you done?
We
are champions.
You have been reading too much.
You see, Rain how?
Every day you are rain. Every day you are rain.
That league trophy.
Every day you are rain.
That league trophy in its glory.
Which one?
Oh, the Premier League. When you see it.
But you people said it yourself that it's not as big as the Champions League. So,
facts.
Which is why you wanted to win a bigger cup and you didn't get that.
We did not get that this last season, but we're going to get that this season.
We hear you.
Yes.
Let's talk about. Let's take a look at the results over the weekend.
Yes.
All the games that were played.
Yes. You know, Manchester United haters will be happy because United lost.
Okay. So they've been beaten by Hull City.
Yes. And then there was Liverpool who drew 2-2 with Newcastle.
Hey, I just remembered I'm also a Liverpool fan.
Hey, how many clubs do you support?
That's why I'm thinking, like, I forgot. Okay. There's Liverpool.
You forgot you support Liverpool. Hey, Bella.
I don't walk alone, no.
Wow.
See, don't. I have a co-supporter in the corner. He's assuring me that I will not walk alone.
Oh, Nipens. I know he's a Liverpool fan. Nipens, I know.
Yeah.
But I didn't know about Bella. Wow.
No, I've been there since.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I just realized that because I like Semenyo so much as well, I want to be a Man City.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you think Liverpool win the league?
Let's carry on. Don't put me in a size corner yet. You let it develop. We'll see. We'll get there. Yes. We also have Bournemouth and Man City. It was 2-1.
Yeah, it was 2-1.
You
Man
see,
City won 2-1.
You see, Newcastle and Liverpool as well.
Yeah.
2-2. So what should we expect for the rest of the week from the sports
there's
team?
there's a Chelsea game later tonight. They'll play against Fulham. Hopefully they get a result because last season they didn't finish well. They finished 10th, which wasn't good for them.
Yeah.
But under new head coach, maybe they can get a good result tonight.
Well, we'll be looking forward to that, so you can give us some more updates.
Yeah.
But 10 o'clock, you guys are back on air.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot more of other interviews that you've done. What should we expect?
Of course, we have an exclusive coming up with John Obi Mikel.
Oh, that's
some other
nice.
Some other things. So.
Okay. The cat is out of the bag.
Yeah.
Have we seen excerpts of it already? Not yet.
We are
This is fresh out of the oven.
I'm bringing everything.
Hot. Just put some margarine inside and you'll enjoy it. So 10 a.m., look forward to that exclusive conversation coming your way with the sports team. Thank you so much, Billy Shen, for speaking to us. But we'll also be talking about Onga. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. You're watching TV3 Newday. It's time for us to have a very important conversation. So earlier this year, we know that the Environmental Protection Authority, the EPA, started and has intensified its nationwide campaign to phase out polystyrene products. That is styrofoam and foam, among other things, following a presidential directive. So this ban takes effect on the 1st of January next year. And government says that the policy is aimed at tackling plastic pollution, protecting public health, and also resetting Ghana's environmental management system. But for manufacturers, distributors, and consumers, this transition may come with some serious economic questions. What happens to jobs, businesses, livelihoods, which are tied to these polystyrene products? Are there affordable alternatives readily available? And so on. So, we understand that there's a program or a policy, there's a program that's going to put a policy to a test. And we'll see what Ghana has to pay to implement this ban and what economic and environmental gains that we as a nation can derive from it. Because we know that other countries like Rwanda, Kenya, and like countries have taken similar steps in the past. And so we're trying to basically figure out what lessons we can learn from their experience and what we can do as a nation to ease us into the phase of living without polystyrene in this country. And to help us better understand this, I'm joined in the studio from the EPA, Mr. Larry Kotoe. He's the head of sustainability and circular economy. Good morning, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
It's great to have you.
Yeah,
Did you bring some of the T-shirts for all of us?
I have some.
Or it's only the EPA who wears?
No. I have some packed up. Yes.
Did you put it in a rubber bag?
Not. Hey, I can't do that.
It's not in a rubber bag. So
No.
is it in a paper bag?
Yes.
All right. Great to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Now, we all have heard about this ban, and we've been trying to figure out how we are going to be able to phase out. So far, how's the sensitization going?
It's been massive, and I must say that we are planning a nationwide sensitization, and we started with our engagement, which we call the EPA in Focus. But we've also been in Makola. I'm sure you heard about it.
Yes.
And we are storming other national capitals like KJTR this week. And we are also looking into smaller markets across the country. So that is the reach that we are actually
What are
going.
people saying to you?
They are supporting us.
How about the manufacturers? What are they saying?
Initially, there was some pushback, but over time, I think they also recognized the national need to transition. And they are asking for some time to also transition, but we've given them some enough time that we need to also move ahead. Okay. So they are in support of what we are doing, but I'm sure they are always sentimental.
Yeah. For those who don't understand, what are the dangers that polystyrene poses to us as consumers?
So they are in different folds. We always talk about the environmental aspect, where sometimes you see about littering and ends up choking our gutters. And when it rains, it's so visible on our water bodies. You see them a lot. Also, we have other health impacts that we don't normally see. Ghana, we are very open to open burning because of the weak waste management system. So people gather a few of their waste with tree branches and leaves, and they burn them with this styrofoam. And once you inhale them, it contains this toxic chemical that is also affects our health. And obviously, eating from this eating hot food from this styrofoam is also one of the easiest way to actually expose yourself to these styrofoam chemicals.
What are the chemicals?
Styrene.
Styrene.
Yes, it's a petroleum-based chemical. And it's a polymer. The polystyrene is actually a petroleum polymer. It's very technical anyway, but we use chemicals to produce them. And I would say 98% of them is actually air. They just blow air into it. And the base material itself, which is the styrene, is where we need to be careful about.
So if you eat hot food from a styrofoam container, you're exposing yourself to health risks.
Exactly.
Like what?
Because the styrene, which is a chemical, leaches into the food.
So what could you get from it?
I'm not a health expert,
okay,
but research has shown that it's
dangerous.
That there's a cancer agent that can actually persist in your body.
And we actually buy our food hot in these containers. Wache, gobe, rice. In fact, people even put soup. They tie soup in a rubber.
Yes.
People who buy fufu from the chop bars and so on. I don't eat transported fufu, so I've never done that. But you know, people go to the chop bar, buy fufu, and then they tie it in a rubber, the soup in a rubber, and then put it in the kako container, and then tie it again. You know, I can only imagine how much chemicals you're exposing yourself to. So this is bad for our health. And we've been doing it for years. Now the government says we should stop it. What alternatives are there for us to buy our food which we want to take away if we don't use styrofoam?
So in terms of alternatives, I always tell people that we have enough alternatives. You know, when we're all growing up, when you're going to buy wache, we carry our own bowls. So we always say, use the reusable containers. They are available. Buy them and then use it after eating. You just wash them and then reuse it again. But over time, we've seen a lot of people investing in paper as well. And then also the aluminum foil. So sometimes corporate institutions will order food and it's well packaged. Even not even corporate. Sometimes somebody will order food through the normal restaurants and it comes well packaged in paper with aluminum foil and all that. So they are already available. But the cheapest, and then the leaves. The wache leaves.
That's my favorite.
They are always there.
That's my favorite. I went to a party recently, and the banku was packaged in
the leaves.
In leaves.
Exactly.
And I really appreciated that. I thought that was very innovative.
Exactly.
Compared to the plastic, the rubber.
The rubber, exactly.
The rubber. What do we call it? Butter chins rubber that we use to pack the banku. I've always been concerned about that because it's so hot, and then you put it in the rubber, and then I wonder, you know, what health benefit risks it poses.
Yeah.
And yes, like you said, when I was a child, I would carry a basket. I come from a household of 6 people. And so when we went to buy cocoa or wache, I carried 6 bowls or 6 bottles or a flask and bought the cocoa. And then when we came home, we served it. But you know, times are changing and now we are eating on the go. You know, we don't have breakfast as a family anymore. So people want just to grab the food and go. You're saying the alternative is paper.
Yes.
Is it affordable?
I would say comparatively, but we must also put it in context. Demand was really low because they are competing with a product that is very cheap and easy to get. But if we get people who can actually produce some of these products and also the demand can actually go high. And once supply is there and demand is also there, the cost will come down.
Final question before you go.
Yeah.
As we implement this, what will success look like for us, say by the year 2030?
You will not see some of these products on the market anymore. You will also not find people importing some of these products or the raw materials into the country anymore. And you will see more sustainable alternative products. And people's behavior will also change. And you see the environment clean from some of these styrofoam.
Is there a fine, a punishment for people who continue to use it?
So we are currently working on the legal framework. And one of them is confiscation, paying for the penalty for the disposal, and other, I would say, punitive measures that we are putting.
What will you use? What would you do with the styrofoam that's currently in the system?
So what we are currently doing is to actually put in place a system of collection.
Okay.
We can actually dispose of them in an environmentally sound manner. So that is what we are currently doing. But come January 2027, we shouldn't see some of these products littering our environment. Yes.
Thank you so much, Mr. Larry Kotoe, for bringing us this education. If you haven't heard, well, now you know. There is a ban on the use of styrofoam, polystyrene, or kako, what you buy your wache in. There is a ban by 2027, 1st of January. We are not allowed to use, buy it, dispose of it. You are not allowed to interact with it at all. And so the EPA is working to phase it out, and they employ all of us to assist in doing this and doing so efficiently and effectively. It is for the health of our environment, and it's also for our health. With all these diseases that we are fighting every day, some of these things contribute to it. And so stop using styrofoam from today. Carry your own bowl to buy your wache, or use paper bowls, or the leaf. It's cheap. All right? All right. Let's go on to our first draw for the morning. If you dial *439#, this is draw number 1. Here we go. If your number is 055 0039 ****. Congratulations. You've won for yourself 500 Ghana cedis, and it's in your Momo wallet now. All right, we're going to go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll bring you more on the show. Stay with us.
Jollof battle. Ha! I like how I did this. But anyway, so yes, there's a jollof battle that's happening. It is here, and it's by courtesy Onga. And so we're going to be having a conversation about the new season and, of course, what to expect moving forward. And in the studios, I have Chef Gigi, who I thought would have brought me some jollof this morning. So, you know, while we're talking, we can be eating the jollof. Hello, Chef.
Hi, Bella.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Where's my Ghana jollof?
It will come soon.
It's on your T-shirt. Also, Fifi is joining us. And Fifi in Siaba. Yes, correct. Yes, he is the category lead for Onga Ghana. Good morning. How are you?
Good.
Let me start off with you. Okay. In fact, you also should have brought me the jollof, but you didn't.
We have it outside.
You have it outside?
Yeah,
oh, so you did bring it?
Oh, yeah.
Are you lying to me? Tell me about the Onga jollof battle.
Okay, so Onga, as one of the brands of Pomasido Ghana and producers of Cowboy Coffee, Mixi, the rest which you know, our core mandate is to produce and then deliver and serve quality food products. One of our brands, flagship brands, Onga, has been running jollof battles right, in many years. This is the 8th edition. We've had the influencers edition, we've had the Ghana versus Nigeria edition. Last year we had the West African edition.
Yeah. And there's a winner, right?
Last year,
yes,
the winner was from Nigeria.
Oh, Nigeria rather.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And then this year is the edition 2.
Okay.
So the winner is coming from Ghana.
Oh, I see.
Yes, and that is Chef Gigi.
Oh, so it's over?
Yeah, it's over.
But why didn't you invite Chef Mundi to come and try her jollof?
Oh, so what we did...
Don't mind me.
I know. Just to take the point further, what we did wasn't just to choose Chef Gigi to represent Ghana.
Okay.
No, we opened it up to the public to nominate who they think can cook the best jollof in Ghana. So we had our national competition, and Chef Gigi was part of the 10 contestants or the participating teams, chefs to run this. She came tops.
And she came tops in the whole of West Africa?
In the whole of Ghana, to represent Ghana.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, in the whole of Ghana.
Yes.
So now she has the winning jollof that will be representing
Ghana. And then Nigeria did same, Sierra Leone did same, Cote d'Ivoire did same. They battled under one roof on Saturday.
And then she
emerged
won.
The champion.
So she literally is the West African champion when it comes to jollof.
Correct.
So Ghana is back on top. Like we never left. Congratulations,
Thank
Chef.
you.
Which is why I was asking where the jollof is.
It's okay.
That jollof that you cooked that day that everybody was giving you the big ups for.
I'll cook another one for you.
Okay. Please invite me and my family. We're a lot. So that we can all come and enjoy. But congratulations.
Sure, thank you.
How do you feel?
Good. Extremely good, yeah.
Okay. Are you also excited that finally Ghana is back, you know, defending
Yes,
its
I
title?
am.
Yeah.
I am.
Tell me
I
how
am.
the competition went for you.
Oh, the competition went well.
Okay.
It's actually not my first competition anyway, but on, how do you call it? With Onga.
Yeah.
Onga's new baby is Onga tomato mix.
Yes.
I don't know if you've heard about it.
I have.
Yes, okay.
And by the way, congratulations to Dinah. Yes, Hamilton, for being the face.
Yeah. Correct.
Yes, I've seen that.
Yeah.
Congrats, sis. Yes.
So with Onga tomato mix and then Onga seasonings, it gave it everything. And we came back. So we are back. We
are
have
back.
The bragging rights now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And in fact, you have a bigger bragging right because now you also won what? 5,000?
Yeah,
US
5,000.
dollars?
Yes.
Just for
Yeah.
cooking jollof.
I tell you.
Chef, what else are we cooking next? Listen, let's keep winning. Every year, please go and represent Ghana for us.
Sure.
So that we'll continue to win. But it must feel good, right?
Very good. Very good.
Tell me, you know, how was it easy? Was it difficult? What was the journey like for you?
Okay, for me, the main battle wasn't difficult, but then the country level.
Yeah.
Because the country level, they had to, your fans had to nominate who cooks the best jollof.
Yeah.
I don't even, you know, we had the, how should I even call them? The bloggers,
Yes.
cooks.
Yes.
Yes. I'm a professional chef. We don't make a lot of noise, but we do the cooking.
Yes.
But then the bloggers who are blogging and cooking, we're making all the noise.
Hey, shade.
We're making all the noise. So on the country level, it was a bit tough working in there. And then having my sister Rafia too.
Yes.
Who I've competed with before was also part of the 10 that was chosen. So after everything I won, and it felt good.
Yeah.
And then having represents Ghana and winning again makes it extremely
Even
good.
better. That's the icing on the cake.
tell
But
you.
what did you do differently? I mean, what's that special ingredient beyond the Onga tomato mix and, you know, everything else? What made it different for you this time, which is why you won?
I think the plating.
Okay.
Because when you look at what was done that day, I didn't taste any other jollof anyway. But when you look at our plating compared to theirs, I think we gave it a different level. Because some people came and dumped the whole bunch of cassava and some other things on. But you know, when you're plating professionally, it's just, the size should just be for the portion. Let me say,
Yeah,
the portion
size,
should just be right, yes. But so I think for us, it was that. Aside the taste, it was a presentation.
People were putting cassava in the plate as well.
Yeah.
Jollof and cassava.
Oh, you should have seen the things they put on plate that
Which
day.
country was that? Let me know so that I want to order jollof from there. Why are you mixing fufu and jollof? Stop confusing me. But Fifi, I mean, to you, of course, you brought 5 countries together: Ghana, Sierra Leone, Nigeria, La Côte d'Ivoire, and Senegal.
Correct.
And it was such a success.
Yes.
Of course, I'm sure that whatever it is that you're hoping to achieve, you have. But were you satisfied as a team?
Yes, so we are very proud as to what we have achieved. Last year, we actually selected the chefs or the cooks from Ghana. They were residents of Ghana, right, but different nationalities. This time around, we collaborated with our sister Promacedo companies just to bring the chefs, fly them into Ghana. So they also had their local or their national competitions, and then we flew them in to have this jollof battle. However, for me, this goes beyond just a battle. We're celebrating culture. We are celebrating food. We are bringing togetherness under the golden spice onga. Just to be happy, feel the passion about food. It just goes beyond the borders of Ghana.
Awesome. And we're looking forward to the next edition as well, right?
Yes,
Where are we going from here?
It's if I tell you, it's going to be an open secret. However, we are sending it a notch higher.
Okay. Well, let's make it an African battle. And Ghana will still win, regardless. The other country shouldn't even try. So, on that note, after the 22nd of August 2026, it is confirmed that when it comes to Jollof battle and Jollof wars, the best country with the best Jollof is
Ghana Jollof.
Thank you, Chef Gigi. And that's how we wrap up our conversation today. And so congrats again on that 5,000 US dollars and for the bragging rights as well. And we hope we hold on to this bragging rights for the next decade or more.
I tell you.
Yes, and then after that, hold it for a decade and I'll come and take over.
No worries.
Deal? All right, Chef Gigi is our current winner of the Onga Jollof Battle, the West African edition, and we're so happy that she's won. But most importantly, we're happy that Onga could bring together all these other African countries to celebrate a meal that we all enjoy. And, you know, there's no Niger Jollof, no Senegal Jollof. It's not nice. It's only Ghana Jollof that's nice. If you're from those countries, I'm sorry, but stick to our own. Thank you so much, Fifi.
Thank you.
Fifi Ntiaba is the category lead for Onga Ghana, and of course, Chef Gigi. She has the best jollof in Ghana at the moment. And so if you want jollof, reach out to her. And we can find you on social media at
everywhere.
Chef Gigi.
Gigi'sKitchen.gh.
Gigi'sKitchen.gh. All right. Well, thank you so much for
Thank you
joining
for
us
having
on
us.
the show. And we're getting straight into our draw for today. This is going to be our second draw. We mentioned that 3 of you will be winning 500 Ghana cedis each. And now it is happening. So we're counting down. Oh, there you go. We have our number now. And if this is your number, 024-7892 star 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 024-7892 star star star. You have just cashed out 500 Ghana cedis. You should have received a message at this point. Your Momo should have been updated because that 500 hits your account almost instantly. So congratulations to you for winning that money. And I believe we'll have a third draw very shortly. But yes, we have our winner now. And by the way, attention to all parents of first-year SHS boarding students. EduPack, the Ghana Education Service approved and supported national SHS initiative implemented by Prospectus Ghana is now in progress across Ghana. So parents across the country are already registering so their children's trunk, Macintosh mattress, pillowcases and pillows and plastic chop boxes will be ready and waiting at their school before reporting day. So do not delay and get caught in the usual last-minute market rush. We do that a lot. It's time to put an end to it. We're no more carrying heavy items under pressure because with EduPack, your child does not need to travel to school with these 4 essential items. You just need to register by dialing *713*821#. *713*821#. Visit any ADB branch or go to www.edupackgh.com and make your payments. And you can just walk into the school or drive into the school that day, and the items will be waiting for your child at the registration center. It is that simple. So make sure that you register. But let's get into birthday celebrations now, shall we?
Yes, it's
team.
a birthday today. Wishing you a very, very happy birthday. It's the birthday of our camera lady here. Okay, before we get to her, Winifred, I'm going to give you a big shout soon, but it is our boss's birthday. This is the birthday that shuts down all birthdays today. Happy birthday to our sweet and kind, very, very wonderful General Manager, TV3, Akofa Banson. Your vision, your strength inspire all of us to be better every day. May your new year be as inspiring and impactful as your leadership from all of us here at Media General. You see how she's posing the picture? That's how she is.
She's a boss chick.
She's like, you know, I'm cool, but I see you.
Yeah.
All right. Mr. Pius Kojo Baka, God bless you immensely. Mr. Pius, happy birthday. Madam Christabel Edem Kwejo, CEO of Christian, happy birthday.
Today's a yellow day, eh?
George W. Nash, senior member of the NDC, the National Communications Team, happy birthday, sir. Adele Nyanye, happy birthday, little one. You're 1 year today. And Faustina Bonzi, happy birthday to you. All right. And today is the birthday of Winifred, our camera lady here on TV3 Newday and also here at Media General. Winifred, you're not here with us today, but we're sending you so much love on your birthday. We love you so much.
Absolutely.
And when you come, we'll prepare a special birthday jollof for you.
I know,
so
right?
Come back soon.
Yeah, we hope you're well.